Folks, we're live. Actually remembered to change the stream info.
Way to go! Way to go!
This is part of my character arc. I got to progress in this way.
Indeed.
Yes, we are here. I am here with Caleb, and we're pretty big movie fans. So we're going to be discussing kind of our top picks for the movies that came out this year, maybe some of our least favorites, most favorites, maybe some of our most anticipated films. Basically, everything to do with 2023 movies, because it was a big year. It was a big year for film, I would say. It's a big comeback compared to the past few years.
I fully agree. I feel like ever since the pandemic, movies have been kind of like in this stalemate of being completely, mediocre. But this year, I felt like was the biggest comeback for movies that we really needed, both in box office numbers and in all around just great films in general.
Oh yeah, exactly. For the past 2 or 3 years, it's even the movies that have been released. It was just major blockbusters coming to the theaters, that had giant studios basically, because people thought they're done. People are done with the theaters except for a big Marvel movie or something. Then they'll go. But I mean, this year really proved it wrong. People went to see any movie you can think of, no matter how good or how bad, how low budget, high budget. Yep. It's really back.
Yeah, I really think that in the middle of the year when we had the whole Barbenheimer thing happen, I felt like that main event there really saved cinemas, because box office numbers were huge. It was getting tons of people to the theater. People were dressing up in costumes to see these movies.
We did.
Including us.
Yes.
Including us. Yeah, man, this was definitely a big year for box office numbers. That's for sure.
Absolutely. It was really the boom it needed, especially right before the writer's strike. We might see a bit of a lull come summertime. Remains to be seen. But I think the bump we had over this past summer will hopefully be enough for people to have a restored faith in in the movie theater.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah. So I'd say let's go ahead and start out with the top 10 list. Starting out from bottom, from 10 and up. Because you're hosting, Chris, I would say you have the floor, starting out with your movie, then we can go to mine, then yours, then mine, and back and forth.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah. So my best movies. I didn't narrow it to a top 10. I was just a deserving. So I have 13. So I guess we'll go my bottom 3, and then we can start alternating since you only have 10.
Yeah. I do have 7 honorable mentions to bring up, but we can go with your bottom 3, and I can bring up some that are in my honorable mentions, and then we can go on to our main top list. Okay.
So what does the honorable mention entail? Is that just one you think deserves recognition?
Those are the ones that did not make the list. They were ones that I enjoyed this year, but they did not make it to my top 10 list.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's just do that. Let's see. Okay. So I'm not. You probably haven't seen these bottom 3. My 13.
Hold on one second. My light went out of my.
His power's out, folks. They're rationing lights over there at the Caleb household. His PC's using too much power. Shorted out the bulb.
Shoot, I'll need to get a charging for my headset real quick. I'm sorry for this inconvenience. I will be back in 1 minute. I am sorry. I'll be back in 1 minute.
It's all good. It's all good. I guess. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to pull up the stream. See, that, my friends, is the problem with wireless headsets.
I agree.
I'll never part from my wire. You could never get me to part from it. I highly considered it. I had to upgrade my headset this year, and I did consider getting a wireless. I saw it was 72 hours. But it's I hate plugging shit in. I already have to charge my watch and my phone on the daily, my tablet every few days, my laptop every other day, my Steam Deck every other day if I use it. So between all of those things that have to charge and I was plugging in so many things, so much shit. I'm lucky that my wireless earbuds support wireless charging. I can just slap it on. but they also have a port. If I didn't have wireless charging, that would be like the fifth thing I'd have to plug in. I'm charging like 6 things every every like 3 days. So yeah, I just like, no, I'm not gonna add a headset to the list of things I'm plugging in to charge. I'm just gonna stick with wireless. It tethers me to the PC, but I don't have to charge it. Yes, I guess the downside to display sharing, screen sharing, is we get the Steam notifications.
Let me just make sure it's charging.
His wireless headset is rendered wired now.
Okay, it is now wired. Yeah, let me turn down my contrast here real quick. There we go.
All
right, yeah.
Is your headset working?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, fantastic.
And as I was saying with this list here, the 7 that did not make it to the top 10, those were honorable mentions, meaning like they almost made it to the top 10, but they didn't quite hit the mark. Either had like a bit more issues with these movies than I did like the other ones in my top 10 list. Like I enjoyed them to where I'm like, hey, go out and see them, but they didn't make that top 10 list yet.
Alrighty, yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, so I guess I'll just knock out these bottom 3 because I'm pretty sure you haven't seen these bottom 3 in my in my rankings. So yeah, my number 13 is gonna be Pain Hustlers. Ooh. It's a Netflix original with Chris Evans, Andy Garcia, and what's her face, Emily Blunt. Mm-hmm. It is.
No, I think you're in the minority here. I think this movie got panned by critics and like audiences alike.
I think it was. I think audiences may have liked it. I think critics did not enjoy it though. Yeah, critics definitely did not like it.
Ooh, yeah.
Audience thought it was decent.
It was average. Yeah.
So, I mean, I did put it at the bottom of the best list for a reason. And yet, if I was confining it to like a top 10 like you did, yeah, I probably would have left it off. But, yeah, this movie about, for those who don't know, yeah, about basically someone who goes to work for a big pharma company whose only concern is profit, and they don't mind hurting people to make money. She gets a job working because she has no other job prospects and she has a daughter to take care of, so she comes on as a snake oil salesman to sell this addictive drug to pitch it to doctors so that they prescribe it. Now it's nothing. I will confess that it is nothing revolutionary.
So you can see why critics and audiences might not have liked it.
I can see why the critics didn't rave about it. Where was my all right. Okay, so my the written review I posted to a Letterboxd. I did like the performances are great, which it's something to expect when you got the A-list actors like those. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did kind of feel like the Wolf of Wall Street vibes, kind of vibe with the comfortability they had with doing the illegal stuff. It's nothing revolutionary. It's nothing I've seen necessarily before. Because opioid movies and opioid pieces of content are pretty popular these past couple of years. There's the Netflix one, the Hulu one. I'm in the middle of watching the Hulu one with my dad, with Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton, yes. I hear that's a pretty good one, yeah.
Yes, I'm a few episodes in with it. It is pretty solid. This, I think, is solid. I think it deserves to be among my top in general list because I think it ticks all the boxes. I think it does everything well, even if it doesn't do everything outstanding. I think a lot of movies we've seen recently, they don't quite very often tick all the boxes like that is satisfactory. I think this is a satisfactory movie. It doesn't do anything. I don't think it does anything bad. Its biggest crime, I think, is just not being, outstanding, breaking through the mold kind of thing, and that it's a bit derivative.
I can see this being something that's like elevated by the performances. Like the story in general is not the best, but you got Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt there. I feel like that can elevate the movie quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it did. I mean, I could see this being like an average theater release, something like that.
Was this only streaming, or did this come to theaters?
It was a Netflix original.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it deserved a mention for at least not doing anything like horrible in the way that a lot of other movies we've seen this year have done.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, and then my number 12. I don't know if you ever got around to seeing this.
I haven't seen this. I was thinking about this just today. Actually, I was like, oh man, I haven't seen this yet.
It is so good. I think it really deserves a mention for this movie. Yeah, so the night frame for a tragic crime teams up with a scrappy shape-shifting teen to prove his innocence. Yeah, so I think this movie deserves a lot of praise for the way it handles its LGBTQ situation. I'm sure that lots of people know I'm no fan of having that shoved in the movies, but I think this is a perfect model for how you do it exactly right, because they don't mention a single time and nothing about like the struggle of being LGBTQ.
So it's not a forced plot point. It's just something for the character.
In fact, it actually has to be this way, that these are two knights, and knights are only men. And these are two knights that are in love, and they have to be in a relationship for the plot to work, and they can only be men because they're knights. So I think is the perfect way to put that in there. Yeah,
I need to see this. I need to see this.
It is fantastic. If you're a fan of Chloe Grace Moretz, I think this is her best performance. This is some of the most dynamic acting I've seen from her. Which, I mean, she kind of had to do because her character is the shapeshifter. But, pretty much. Did I not write a text review for this?
You write a review for it.
Oh, there we go. I clicked the wrong one. Yes. A Netflix animation banger. Yeah, the themes and cliches. Yeah, they can drift maybe a hair hallmarky with its themes. But, yeah, no, you really do feel for these characters. I think they were developed well. Chloe Grace Moretz, great performance. Yeah, they dumbed it down for the kids. That's something you get with a lot of modern animation. Even if the plot's good, nowadays it's not like when we were kids. When we were kids, the animation stuff had like actually intelligent dialogue, even though we didn't understand it. When we grew up, we later understood
baby.
It. There we go. Basically written by Aaron Sorkin, that one. Yeah, they dumb it down a bit for the modern generation. Was unfortunate, but we could still get the point across. Yeah, they were very clear, selective moments that were made. You could tell were made just for the kids to keep them engaged. And I was like, all right, that was a little silly, but sure, I guess. But yeah, it really deserves its laurels. I think it's very solid. You gotta get you to see it, Caleb.
I know. I remember like every week when we would hang out, you and Jake would be like, "Have you seen Winona yet?" And Nimona, I'm like, "No, I haven't. I'm sorry."
Oh yes, if only it came out in theaters, you would have seen it.
I think when this came out, this is when I was starting like my big like One Piece craze. So like everything I was watching was pretty much One Piece.
Oh yes, and everything you've been watching since has been One Piece.
Has still been One Piece, yes.
Indeed, yes. Disney never deserved her. Yes, it's very solid. I think it's worth a watch for everyone, especially if you're a fan of animation. Ooh. And then my number 12, somebody I used to know with Allison Brie. I'm personally am a fan of rom-coms. I know you're probably not, Caleb.
I honestly, they're a guilty pleasure for me. Like I do enjoy rom coms.
Oh, that's right. You did say you watched La La Land. That's right. I remember you enjoying
La La
it.
Land is like in my, I think it's like probably my favorite movie ever. It's either number one or number two. It switches between like Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, or La La Land for my favorite movie of all time. But yeah, I love La La Land.
Oh man, yeah, no, they're definitely a guilty pleasure for me. Even if the plot's bad, if it's got like an A-list actor in it, I'll watch it. You know.
Yeah, there you go.
So the thing about this one is that Alison Brie, who's married to what's James Franco's brother, Dave Franco, right? Yeah. They're married, and they binge watched a bunch of rom-coms during the pandemic when they were locked in their house, and then they got like the idea that they wanted to write their own and kind of recapture the genre, so they did, and I think this is actually has a pretty decent plot for a rom-com, so it's which is so rare to see. Like they're usually churned out in like 15 minutes. Oh yeah, they're usually like churned out in 15 minutes. some cheap plot is like, I guess I can accept it if there's an A-list actor, but I mean, I think if they go the extra mile to actually tell the story, I think it deserves so much praise, because you almost never see a rom-com with an actual good story. So when these combine, I'm all over it. Yeah, great performances. The story is very similar to the Julia Roberts movie My Best Friend's Wedding. If you've seen that, that's a bit older.
Nope, never seen it.
Where she tries, her best friend is getting married, and then all of a sudden when she gets the invitation, she realizes she's actually been in love with him this whole time, so she goes down there to try and steal him away. Is the premise for the movie. So that basically this movie follows the same premise, but the difference being, well, the Julia Roberts movie is a little more lighthearted. This movie actually, you go into some deep emotions here with that the characters are going through, that you didn't see in the older rom-coms. So I think that adds a bit of like depth and authenticity to it that you don't really see in hardly any rom-coms, except for like La La Land.
Oh, that ending still breaks my heart.
Oh yes. Who would have thought? Yeah, that not every ending is they end up together. That's I think it is bold when they choose to go for something like that.
All right, cool.
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime for those who want to watch it. I think it is worth a watch if you're a fan of the genre. Pretty decent reviews. Average about 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Yeah. Pretty solid.
Cool.
Okay. Alrighty, now we're into the top 10, and Caleb and I both have top 10. So then I guess I'll go, and then we'll hear Caleb's top 10 and his comments on it.
Do we want to go through my honorable mentions real quick?
Oh, you're right. That has to do. Yeah. Let's hear your honorable mentions.
Okay, so I got 7 of them, so I'm gonna kind of go by them a little bit quickly. So my 7th honorable mention is a movie that came out actually this year in January, Megan. So Megan was the like robotic doll coming to life movie. It's very similar to, I would say, Child's Play. Very, very entertaining. I was worried from the trailer that it would take itself too seriously, but like the very first scene, you can tell, oh no, this movie's a parody. So that definitely surprised me. The effects were pretty good. I think the only thing that was holding this movie back is that it was not rated R. Now, I don't think that every horror movie needs to be rated R, but you could tell that there were definitely some points where they had to either cut a scene do like some weird editing to make sure that the movie stayed PG-13, and that can get a bit distracting here and there. But I had a great time with this one. Like I didn't buy it on the Blu-ray yet, but this is definitely a surprise, a sleeper hit in my opinion.
Interesting. Yeah, especially those movies that have. I'm assuming this is like a movie that has benefits from gore.
Yep.
Yeah. Those
There were
definitely need to
rumors
be
that
R.
they were going to release an R-rated cut, but that never came out at all.
Oh, tragic.
So, but as a whole, I had a good time with this one. This was like one of the first movies I saw this year, and I was like, "Oh no, a horror movie in January!" Because usually January is kind of filled with like mediocre stuff. But no, this one was pretty decent.
Yeah, who'd have guessed? Yeah, I did hear a lot of mixed things about it. Yeah, if I was more of a horror fan, maybe it's only PG-13. Maybe on this coming Halloween, I'll make myself watch it.
There you go.
That's the spirit.
All right, and for my number 6 honorable mention, this one's actually another horror movie that came out in January,
Ooh,
and that's Skinamarink.
the
So-
what? What was that?
Skinamarink. So it's Skinamar.
Oh,
Yeah, that one is
okay.
there.
So like, is
It
that a
says
different
20
language?
yeah, it says 2022 because that's when like a like early screening of it came out, but I saw it this year in January. So this is the most unique movie I saw this year. So there's little to no dialogue, and it's just shots in a house. It's just like still shots in a house, some like scenes where like the camera's recording like a TV screen, like and it's showing like a cartoon or something. But you're trying to like unravel what the story is. So in the beginning, like one of the little kids, like he gets a concussion or something like that, and then that's when things start going weird around the house. Like you notice that doors are disappearing, the dad is nowhere to be seen. Like they call 911 and no one's on the phone. This is probably the scariest movie I saw this year. It terrified me. This is a perfect example of like less is more because there's, like I said, barely any dialogue. There are no jump scares. Like you'll just have like a 2-minute scene, like just taking like a shot of like a hallway, and it'll get a little bit darker and a little bit lighter. You kind of hear footsteps in the background, but nothing shows up. You hear like a faint whisper while the shot's going on, and you're just stuck there looking at this one shot, and your eyes are playing tricks on you. Like, are you seeing something? Are you not seeing something? This is absolutely the scariest movie I saw this year. It was terrifying. I absolutely loved it.
Interesting. Yeah, that sounds a lot like at least from that plot you described, it sounds similar to like those like 2000s horror movies that are like found footage, like Paranormal Activity.
It's very similar to found footage stuff. In fact, the director used a very old quality video camera, like from like the 80s or something.
Oh,
To give it more of like a gritty feel, and man, like, oh, and then the final shot of this movie is just bone chilling. It's like a super dark. Like you think that the movie's off because like the screen's completely black, but the more you're staring at the screen, you notice there's just a face there.
oh my
Staring
god.
at you.
Uh,
I was like, oh my god.
yeah, you're gonna see that when you go to bed and turn off your lights. Eyes are gonna play tricks on you.
I kid you not. When I got home from seeing this, like I was double checking myself, looking through my house. I was like, did I see something? Did I not see something? Absolutely terrifying. If you're a fan of horror, absolutely recommend this one. This one was great.
All right. Yeah, I could see the film grain on just the thumbnail for the poster. Yeah. Interesting artistic choice.
Yep. All right. And my number 5, I thought this was going to be on my worst of the year list, but it made my honorable mentions, and that is Knock at the Cabin, the new M. Night Shyamalan movie that came out this year.
Yeah, with Dave Bautista.
Yes, in my opinion, this is Dave Bautista's best performance. I think it like Drax is his second. This is his best performance. So the premise of this movie is that this gay couple goes into a house and they they have an adopted daughter, and they're renting a cabin for like a family getaway trip, and these three strangers, it's either three or four, yeah, it's four strangers come up to their house saying, y'all need to make a sacrifice or the end of the world is going to happen. So when you hear that premise, that's a little that's stupid, but it's so smart the way how the writing goes with this movie, because the entire time you're watching, you're guessing, like, is the world really going to end? Are these just weird cult members? Because things that these cult members are saying are now happening in the real world. This was a very surprising thriller. This was such a entertaining film because the acting is great, and similar to what you were saying about one of the movies on your list is the couple being gay. It's so well put into the story. Like there's actually a very important plot point with these characters because of their sexuality, and I was very surprised at how well the movie handled the subject like that.
Yeah, so that's very hats off to that if they were able to do that. So
Yeah, I mean,
did you ever see the Cabin in the Woods movie?
I did, yes.
Right?
Yes.
How much does this movie take from that? Is this like just a new iteration, or do you think it deserves to be in its own column?
It's in its own column, honestly. The only thing that made me not put this in my top 10 is the ending kind of sucks, honestly. Like, I hate to say that, but with all the suspension and tension that you get and the whole mystery of everything, like I was like, oh man, like what's the ending gonna be? And I won't spoil it, but when it was revealed about like twist, I would say, because it's not even really a twist per se, but I was left pretty disappointed by the ending, unfortunately.
Yeah, tragic. Yeah, it looks like it's got moderate to decent critic and audience reviews. So yeah, I can see that it kind of echoes what you think.
Yeah, this is M. Night Shyamalan's best film in years. Like, I highly recommend this one. This one's definitely a pretty entertaining watch.
Has he had any films in years? I thought the last one was the Dr. Glass movie, wasn't it?
No, he had one more after that one. It was called Old. It was about these guys that go to a beach.
Yes, I remember
this
that
one. Yeah, I think his best movie before this one was Split. I really enjoyed.
I love it. That's probably my favorite one.
That one is. I would say this one is about the same quality of Split.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I would definitely give this one a watch.
All right. Yeah, very interesting.
All right. And my fourth honorable mention is actually a film I just saw, and that is Wonka.
Oh no, Wonka. Let's see.
I kid you not, I loved this movie.
I see. It's got certified fresh. It's more than I would have expected, and the audiences loved it.
The best way I can describe this movie is that it's just delightful. The songs are great. The casting is very well done. I was very worried about, Timothée Chalamet playing a young Willy Wonka, but I thought he did a pretty good job, and he does a good job with the choreography, with the musical numbers, and all the songs and everything. I had a great time with this. Like, the entire time, I just had a big smile on my face. And I enjoyed the plot as well, because it's Wonka going into like this city that's famous for all their chocolatiers that work there, and all these like higher up chocolatiers are trying to pretty much take down Willy Wonka because he knows that his chocolate is better than all of theirs.
Oh man, this is a gangster movie, is what it sounds like.
I kid you not, they call them the Chocolate Cartel.
Oh my gosh,
they call him the Chocolate Cartel.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Scorsese should have directed this.
Yep, I think the only thing that brings this film down, and it's going to be weird that I say this, but I feel like this movie being a Wonka prequel brings this movie down. Because the Oompa Loompa, he's only in there for like 10 minutes. and all like the little Willy Wonka like Easter eggs and like throwbacks are all like in the last 5 minutes.
Wow, I wouldn't have expected that. Hugh Grant's Oompa Loompa is in like half the trailer.
He's in it for 10 minutes, and he does nothing to the plot.
Wow, that's insane. He's like head of all their advertising.
I know, yeah, that's what I was confused.
I thought he was going to be following him the whole time.
I was like an hour in. I was looking at my watch, and I'm like, I still haven't seen Hugh Grant. Where is he?
Oh, man.
Yeah, man, this movie is it's so whimsical and charming. If you love musicals, you're gonna love this. Like, I expected I was gonna hate this, but man, the director of Paddington, what was his name?
I have no idea.
Scroll down. What's his name? It'll say, keep going. Should say the director, Paul King. Paul King. Yes, he's the guy who's directed Paddington 1 and 2. I'm sorry I doubted him with this. I mean, this was just absolutely a fun time. And I hate to admit it, but I've been listening to the soundtrack for this for like 5 days now.
Oh, well, that's the sign of a good musical.
I mean, the songs are so good. They're so good.
So how was I didn't much care when I saw the trailer. I didn't much care for like the humor. It looked like humor for kids. Did that land any with you?
Hit or miss. There were some, kid jokes that were like, they kind of have my eyes rolling a bit. But there were some other parts that just super, super smart, like, writing with the comedy. I was surprised at how well the comedy landed in most of the parts for me.
Okay. How about that? Yeah, I don't necessarily have the motivation to go to the theater for this, but when it comes out on streaming, I'll definitely give it a watch. And
this is absolutely like if it's a rainy day outside and you kind of got nothing to do and you want some whimsicalness in like your life, watch this. This is absolutely a fun time.
Indeed.
All right, I got 3 more of my honorable mentions. Sorry, it's taking so long.
It's all good.
So my number 3, the honorable mentions, is the Mario movie.
Oh boy. The Mario movie.
Alright, yeah. So this one, the more I think about it, this is absolutely just a fan service film. The story's not that great, but to be fair, for a Mario movie, the story that they came up with was pretty decent. Man, I understand why people hate this. I truly get it.
Yeah. I'm one of those people. Yeah.
It is? Oh, no!
No, it is. We'll probably get into it more. It is on my worst list.
Oh, no! Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, the casting, for the most part, is great. Like, Charlie Day's Luigi,
that
awesome.
Was fantastic.
Yeah, Chris Pratt's Mario sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, like, to be fair, I haven't seen this since it came out in theaters, but kind of don't plan on watching it again for a while.
It's on Netflix now. Yeah.
I know I'm kind of bashing it a bit, but, for a Mario movie and all the Easter eggs and references, just made me smile so wide. And I think just also the environment I was in, because I was with, everybody in the friend group, we were all hanging out, people who grew up with Mario games.
Yeah.
And, it was like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme. Every time, I saw Romans, I was like, oh, I know that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess we could just get into it now. I will speak, cause it's not too much of a. I will just say it's the best. It's the bottom of my worst list, so it's the best of the worst.
Okay, best of the worst.
I will say I didn't put it like number 1 or anything. Yeah, it's really. It's like I love Mario. That's probably my favorite Nintendo game. I may not be like as Nintendo diehard fan as a lot of our group is.
That's me.
Yeah. So like I understand because of the fan service, purely because of the fan service. If you if it got to like by all means enjoy the movie. Nothing wrong with that. And I could enjoy it to an extent. but the plot, the way that they just went about the story was just, I was like, how can you not put in a little more effort for a movie
like,
so popular?
I saw on Twitter, like, it was like a clip of like Mario and Toad talking, and I think Toad goes, Mario, we're best buddies. And somebody commented on that clip saying, by the way, this is the last time Mario and Toad talk in the movie.
Yes. Let me see what I put my review for it as. Oh, I guess okay. I didn't write much.
we both pretty much had the exact same thing.
Yeah, lots of fan service. I gave it average because the animation was pretty solid, and the voice
For an
acting.
elimination movie, definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the cast I think was pretty good, except for Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I mean, also the Peaches song. I mean, that I love it.
Yeah,
song.
the music. Yeah, the good music writing. I'll give you that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the way that I really wish that Mario and Luigi had stayed together for more of it, because Luigi's gone like the first 20 minutes, and you don't see him until the end.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a Luigi's Mansion movie. That would be sick.
There we go. That'll be the great redeemer. Because I mean, and then I love Anya Taylor-Joy, but the writing they gave her, what is it like? Mario's like, maybe you're from where I'm from, and Peach says, there's a whole galaxy out there. Like, what kind of who wrote this response? There's a whole galaxy. Who would say that if they were in that position? Who would say that?
They just wanted people to think, "Oh, Mario Galaxy."
Yeah, it is controversial, I would say, because Angry Joe had totally destroyed this movie.
He had some opinions. He had some opinions.
I mean,
with this, like, I fully understand the hate, and I fully accept the hate that the movie got. For me, though, as someone that's been growing up with Nintendo games and since I was like 3, this was something that, like, if like 5-year-old me saw this in theaters, this would be my favorite movie of all time, hands down.
Yes, I will give it the fan service. It at least achieved that. Hopefully, yeah. I mean, it's definitely getting a sequel because it did great.
It made money. It made money.
Yes. Hopefully, they will be a redemption.
All right, I got 2 more on the honorable mentions. Number 2 is going to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem.
Yes, we saw this together. Actually,
we did. Yes. Oh man. Okay, so there's a lot of things that I really enjoyed about this. One, the animation was stellar. The animation was
really
fantastic. The way how they had some interviews and they were saying they wanted to make it seem like, it was graffiti coming to life, and man, they just knocked that out of the park with this. I mean, I'm so surprised at how good this movie looked. But it's the story though that kind of not put it in my top 10, because I'm a diehard Ninja Turtle fan. I've been growing up with Ninja Turtles since I was super little.
Yeah.
And the fan service really didn't work with me here, unfortunately. Like, I saw all of these villains that I grew up watching. I'm like, oh my god, this is cool. And they don't really do anything with any of them.
That's true. And they're all saved, too.
Okay. That's a rant I'm going to have in a minute.
Right.
But yeah, I enjoyed the animation. That's pretty much the main reason why it's on this honorable mention list, is because it looks so beautiful. I mean, it looks fantastic. Voice acting is pretty good. I'm glad they got teenagers to voice all the Ninja Turtles and everything. I thought that was great.
Yeah, very authentic.
Yeah, I'm upset that what's his name? Giancarlo Esposito was in it for 2 minutes.
Less than. It was so sad.
Dude.
He was the best voice actor.
He was Baxter Stockman. I was like, oh, dude, he's going to be the big bad. And they kill him in a minute. They kill him in the first minute.
Yeah. It was so sad.
And Post Malone. Why is he here? Oh, man. But yeah, so about my tangent about them saving all the villains.
Yeah.
They've written themselves into a corner now. Because now all these bad guys, because they use pretty much like 70% of their main big roster, and now they're all good guys. So
Yep.
either they need to make new villains, because, I mean, of course, Shredder is going to be in the next movie, but either they need to make new villains or just make Shredder the main bad guy and make him, like, the most intimidating villain that they can.
Yeah, that's the only way to save it.
And I hated how the kids are in the school now. I hated that.
It just didn't seem very believable.
And how Leonardo went to prom with April. Like, I didn't need to see that.
But they're teenagers. It's got to be the authentic
But
teenage
they're
experience.
turtles!
Yeah, I don't think they would have been accepted. I think that was the most unrealistic part. That they would probably not be accepted at the school.
Yeah, again, like, if this was 5-year-old me, this would be, like, one of my favorite movies ever. Like, animation-wise, it's great. Voice acting is great. Character designs is great. The action is really good in this, too. Like, the final battle between, like, the giant fly monster that they face, that was really well done.
Yeah, animation is amazing.
Yeah, but things they do, but it's the things they do with, like, the Ninja Turtle lore. Like, I hate how they made all the bad guys good now. I don't like that.
Yeah, they messed with the lore quite a bit. As far as Raph goes, you only see him get mad like once or twice, and other than that, he's just
the entire time they're like, Raph, you need to
happy-go-lucky.
stop being so angry. Stop being angry, Raph. It's like he's been
Like,
angry.
yeah, what are you
once.
talking about? You're gonna gaslight him into actually being
I
angry.
know, right?
It's like just like one time at the beginning, he's just like, "Shut up, Leo." I'm like, "Is that you got to do more
Is
than
that
that?"
the best you can do?
Yeah, I'm like that's
So I noticed this. Was it on your best or worst list? Like, what were your whole thoughts on it? Did you give it a rating on your letterbox?
Oh yeah, I absolutely did. All right, I'll have to move you. You covering the search. I enjoyed like just seeing it. I think there was some good like fight choreography. But
I said, the action was really good.
1990.
Okay,
there it is. Yeah, what did I say? Yeah, the humor is good. So Seth Rogen, I think, did a lot of writing for this.
Yes,
and you can tell he's great. When it comes to humor, he's fantastic.
Also, from the behind the scenes stuff I saw, like all the kids did improv for a lot of their jokes. So they kind of just had, the mics on, and they told the kids, "All right, be kids. Like, how would you teenagers act? Just talk to each other." And that's where they got a good portion of their comedy, at least for the Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, that's fair. It may have been, cringe. As I said, yeah, it did get cringe. But, I mean, that is how teenagers are.
They're teenagers. They're teenagers. I can't fault the movie for being cringy when,
we were
the main
probably
cast
the same
is
way.
teenagers.
Yeah.
We were worse. We were worse.
Yeah. Maybe teenage us would have liked this movie. Yeah, they do truly feel like teenagers. Yeah, for once. I think that was a good way to have it be more of a refreshing movie than to what we've seen like 30-year-olds voice the teenagers in the past, Villains. Yeah, villains weren't, I don't think, terribly threatening.
I'm seeing how you mentioned how they mess with like the lore with Splinter as well.
Okay, yes, the Splinter is just like an old dad.
Yeah,
like he doesn't seem very badass, and even his fight scenes were just like kind of okay, because like he's supposed to be the master, but the way they show it is that he starts learning
he starts learning it through like
the same time as the turtles. So like, how are you the master? How are you not just another student? You're supposed to be this badass. Like,
like, I feel like this is a really good blueprint for a sequel, with the animation, the voice acting. I feel like they were just trying to, kind of throw all their eggs in one basket with the story of adding in, like, all of these villains. But now that they're bringing in Shredder in the next one, I feel like they'll definitely up their game with their writing.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Even with Shredder, and this one they made Splinter was always a rat the whole time. Versus I've seen in the past He was a
He
man.
was he was a man who knew martial arts
And he
was
knew
actually
Shredder.
and he knew Shredder. Yes.
So that just gives you an even deeper backstory between their rivalry. Now they're
And
just
now they
two
gotta
dudes. Yeah, so you're just sacrificing so much lore with that decision. I think you could keep Seth Rogen on for maybe some of this dialogue stuff, because that was probably some of the film's strongest points, but get somebody else who actually like knows the TMNT universe to kind of like script doctor this stuff and make sure the lore is actually there and not just scrapped away.
Yep. All right, let's head on to my final honorable mention. I know there were a lot of them. All right. This one, I was so sure it was going to make my top 10 list. For sure. But, man, the second half of the year was just banger after banger. But this one ended up falling off the list, and that is Barbie.
Oh, Barbie. All right.
Yes. Now, we saw this with the, the Barbenheimer event that you and all of our friends did.
Yeah.
And this was nothing like I thought it was going to be. This is a lot more wacky and crazy and a lot more goofy than I thought it was going to be. But I had a good time with this one, surprisingly. What did you think about this one?
I did as well. I probably had I have more of a mixed take, because I understand that it is definitely a movie that does not shy away from its message, which I cannot stand in films.
You mean like how when they stop the movie for like 5 minutes to be like, hey, here's the message of the movie?
Yes, they made that like that was actually the climax, was a monologue.
Yes.
A monologue. I'm like, and if that's such a important pillar of your movie and you're using that to talk to the audience about your message, I think it's a pretty big misstep and alienates a lot of people.
Yeah, and like I'm seeing here, like the whole way the world works was very confusing. Like, can anybody walk into Barbie Land? Like, can anybody just go there?
That's true. They never did address that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I definitely do have some problems. I can understand where people have like the problems with the politics. I agree, but at the same time, like I can't say like I didn't have a good time, because it was very, very funny. Like,
It was hilarious.
It was so
This is
funny.
probably like the funniest movie of the year.
It was very funny. So I will allow myself to enjoy it, even if I disagree with the politics.
And I do like how you mentioned how it steals, stuff from the Lego Movie, and the Lego Movie also had Will Ferrell in it.
Yeah, he's forgot he did it. He's just taking stuff from that one. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. This one, a lot of fun. Ryan Gosling steals the show. I'm
Absolutely.
Just Ken. Great song. But
Fantastic.
yeah, I could have sworn this would make my list, but man, the second half of the year, I'm pretty sure like most of my movies from the second half of the year are in my top 10s.
Yeah, there's bang. I didn't even have enough time to see all the ones I wanted to see up to leading up to the stream.
Right, but now we finally got the honorable mentions out of the way.
Okay.
Let's hit it off with your number 10.
All right, mine. Oh, these are just generic, random people's lists.
Got a movie again.
Okay. All right, my number 10 was No Hard Feelings.
Really?
Yes, I think it deserves it, because the public is so starved for a raunchy kind of comedy.
I agree.
And I mean, and while I like story wise, like I think the story is very solid, but like it's not like better than like Superbad or something like that. Any of the classics from the 2000s. I won't pretend that it's better than those, but we have not had one that ticks all the boxes of being good in like 5, 6, 7 years. I feel like it's since like 2016. I think Get Hard was the last one I saw.
Did you ever see was it Easy A with
Oh, with Emma Stone, right?
Emma Stone? Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was good too.
This one gave me a lot of vibes like that movie.
Yeah, because she's older. Um,
Mhm.
well, oh yeah, because she's quote unquote prostituting herself out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the humor was solid. Story was not dog shit like a lot of them are in this genre.
Mhm.
Yeah. So like I said, so rare to be a seen adult comedy. Some decent, emotional moments. Felt sincere. I would say it at some times. Avoids being, too cheesy, too cliche. Oh my gosh, but that scene at the end, yeah, where they did like a slapstick humor at the end that I didn't appreciate. He
Is
goes
that
like,
when he was driving the car?
yeah, I think he
That-
goes like flying out of the car and hits the wall or something, and then he's
Something
totally
like
fine.
that, yeah.
It was something goofy like that. And I'm like, didn't really need that. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I think this is exactly the kind of raunchy comedy we need to see more of.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this one. I didn't love it, but I enjoyed the performances. I thought the story, the premise was, again, like how you said, we're starving for movies like this. So this was definitely a very refreshing to see. And plus, I mean, the cast was great. I love Andrew Barthelman. He's been in a lot of like Broadway shows that I enjoy.
Ah,
So seeing him like with this being like his first film role, I was like, oh, cool. But glad he's doing acting too.
yeah, good for him. Yeah, averages three stars, and then a lot of 3.5 and 4 out
That's
of
what
5.
I would give it. I think I would give it like a 3 out of 5.
Pretty fair. Yep, that is my number 10. I think it's on Netflix right now. Number 9. I think you're a fan of this one as well. John Wick 4.
You will hear me talk about this one later on.
That's right. Oh wait, I forgot we're alternating. That's right.
Oh yeah, we should alternate.
Yes.
Okay.
By all means.
So
Yeah.
my number 10 is one that I'm surprised is not on your list. And that is Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Oh my gosh. That's on my favorites.
I am surprised this is not on your top 10. This one is close to being the best Mission Impossible movie. It's
Absolutely.
close. Fallout is still my favorite. That one is like one of my favorite action films of all time. But this one was perfect timing, in my opinion, because the villain is AI.
Yeah.
Which made me think, like, did they write this movie, like, this year? Because, I don't know, just, like, the whole, like, because when this movie came out, that's when, like, the whole, like, AI art was being a big topic, and, like, AI voice acting was being a big topic. So seeing this film come out, like, around that same time, I was like, dang, this is really relevant already.
Yeah, it seemed a little suspicious that they knew. Yeah, I did really enjoy it. I get 4 out of 5.
Nice.
Yeah, it is absolutely a solid movie. Really
Okay, I
good.
see on here you have the same complaint I do, is how the main antagonist we know nothing about.
I know.
Like, because I've never seen the first 3 Mission Impossible movies. So when when we saw each other, like after I saw this, I was like, "Hey, so is this guy from the first movie?" He's like, "No, I don't know who he is."
Yeah, no. I watched because I hadn't seen a majority of them. I'd just seen like the most recent one and Ghost Protocol. So I watched like every single one in preparation for this one. Turns out didn't need it because there's nothing. There was nothing.
There's some callbacks to Fallout, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's about all you need. Other than they used the same characters that they did in the very first movie. Yeah, you really don't. And then Jeremy Renner's inexplicably gone. I don't remember. Although he's been gone, I think. Was he?
Yeah,
in the last one?
he left after Ghost Protocol. That was one that he was in.
Yeah, I don't know if they ever explained why he was gone.
I think they were like always on a different mission or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's not here, but
Yeah, but
they
this film
they
has-
actually do use the villain from was it Fallout? They use one villain. Who was her name? The courier. She's not the big bad.
Yes,
But
yes. Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yes, she was from the one. Was it Fallout? It was either Fallout or the one before that, Rogue Nation.
yeah, it's from one of the recent ones.
Yep. But this movie has probably like one of the best car chase scenes I've ever seen. Like that whole 10-minute action scene where it's just a giant car chase. I think they're in London or someplace, or like Paris, but man, the action is so well done in this.
Oh yes, let's see. I wrote that I found it boring. I honestly don't remember it now. To be honest,
I love the
I don't
car
know why
chase. I
said
thought
that.
it was great.
I don't know. Maybe I thought it went on too long.
No, but to say it went on for too long though. It was about like 10 minutes long. I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, I went to like the early screening. They gave me. I've got
You
my
did, yeah.
IMF pin. It's so cool. I'm an agent of the IMF. But it was just really, really solid. It is high up in my top favorites of this year. I really enjoyed it.
Really liked this one. Really liked it. That is my number 10, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
All right. I know we just teased you on it, but my number 9 is, yes, John Wick. Really great. A great way to go out, because the third movie, I think it could have ended on it story-wise. And this movie, like, it doesn't make any leaps and bounds story-wise. In fact, I'd say it probably regresses a little story-wise from the third one. But it's still, I think, worth having. It's still worth existing. I don't think they're milking it. I think it's worth existing because the action is easily the best of any of the John Wick movies.
The best one by far. That one scene where it's just a one continuous shot through like that, going upstairs and through a kitchen and through like this hotel.
There's like a top-down view at some point. Yeah, it's the cinematography, the fight choreography. Just there's so many kills. Like I think there's the highest body count in any movie I've seen ever. Like so many people are dead.
So good. Yep.
Yeah.
The villain in this one, in my opinion, is the best one too.
Oh yeah, you think?
Yep.
Yeah, I think I like how he uses other people to get his dirty work done.
Yep. Wish we would have saw more Lance Reddick though. He was not in it for that long.
Oh yes. Very tragic. Very tragic. He's a good. Yeah, he's a good person to play that role, and the character is so beloved. But I guess you have to make it real somehow. Somebody had to die.
Rest in peace, Lance Reddick.
Indeed. He was in another movie this year too, where that came out this year. He's in White Man Don't. I don't know if you saw White Man Can't Jump or Plan to See.
I never heard of that movie.
He's in that one, and that came out this year, and he also dies in that one. I was like, what's happening? Was this a prediction for? Crazy. But yeah, the only gripe I would say is that it took the believability of John. John would like straight up jump out of like a 3-story building and like be fine.
Or fall down 50 flights of stairs.
Yeah, like the homie's back and ribs and legs are broken. Would normally be broken. I'm like, I feel like it wouldn't be that hard to ride around. Like, have him just not even show him jumping out of building. Just cut to him coming out the bottom. I don't know why we have to play with our emotions like this.
Yep, this one's a lot higher on my list. But yeah, man, this one was just so good.
Yes, it is good. I think the difference between our lists is, I think you merge a bit like what you think is the best movie and your favorite. And I straight up made 2 separate lists. I'm like, I'm gonna have one that's just the pure joy that I felt ranked.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. I tried to get this one to be like the best, like technically best films.
Yeah, mine's a bit of a mix. Like some of them more at the bottom are like, oh, technically great. And some of them at the top are like, oh, absolutely fantastic on a like technical level. But yeah, this one, so good. Do you think it's better than 3 though?
It's tough to say, because how do you? I think the story's better in 3, but I think the action's better in 4. At that point, it's just a personal preference on on which one you like better. I guess maybe a critics would prefer story over action, but
Yep.
I mean, it's really just preference, I would say.
Yeah, man, this one was just so good. I hope they don't bring him back. I hope this is the final one.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing the spin-offs, and then they had the TV show. Did you watch the TV show?
No, was it the one about the Continental?
Continental, yeah, the prequel. Yeah, we get a young
I never
Winston,
saw it.
young Lance Reddick's character, young. The story okay, but like the action is, I would say, just as good as the movies are. I think it'll be worth watching just for that. Yeah, it's only 3 episodes.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, but they're an hour and a half each,
Oh,
so they're kind of like mini movies.
it's got decent reviews on it.
Yeah, I think if you like the action of John Wick, 1,000% go see it. It is pretty much like one for one, just
it's
as
on
good fight
Peacock.
choreography. Yeah, it is. I did. Yeah, yeah. My friend
I
has
gotta
it on
make
his
a
Plex
Peacock
server.
account.
Yeah. That is the only downside. That's probably why I didn't hear much about it. But
Alright.
yes.
So
And you're number 9.
my number 9 is a horror film from A24 called Talk to Me.
Interesting. I don't think I've heard of this one. Oh
So
gosh.
this one has one of the best premises of the year for me. So what the premise is that these teenagers, they have like this hand model thing, and it's like all like these names written on it and everything. And what you do is you grab hands with the model and say, "Talk to me," and you see a ghost, someone that's died, appear in front of you. No one else can see the ghost around you. Only you that's holding the object can see the ghost. And then you say, "I let you in," and the ghost possesses you while you're holding the hand. So the ghost is like talking and saying like, "Here's how I died. Here's what happened to me," or if they're just acting crazy and everything. And the only way to stop it is to let go of the hand. But the thing is, you're possessed. You can't let go of the hand. So someone has to be next to you and make sure you let go of this hand model thing.
That is so spooky.
I mean, say this has, if you don't like gore in movies, this has the most disturbing gore scene from this year. It's like, I never really clinch at horror stuff, but there's something that happened here where I literally had to be like, nope, I can't look, I can't look.
Oh my goodness.
But what's really cool is what they do with the premise for this is because they make it seem like there's a very unique message with this of how this is similar to drug addiction, because these kids keep on using this hand because they get like a high and a rush from being possessed by these spirits. So there's like this, but the more you're getting possessed, the more you're kind of not being yourself, and the more you're kind of seeing things. Oh man, like the way how they use this premise was absolutely great. And it was just announced a couple months ago, but it's getting a sequel, which I am very excited for.
Huh. 2022. Was it like a January theater release?
So this is another similar one where it got like a very early screening in like late 2022, but it was fully released, I want to say, in March of this year.
Oh, yeah, you got good ratings. 4 out of 5. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this movie. This one of the best horror movies I've seen this year. Not the scariest, but like for the premise and the story and the way how it uses its morals and themes of this hand. Like, no, you should not be doing this, but you get this high and rush from doing it, so you keep on getting, possessed because you think it's cool. And also, like, these teenagers, of course, are making videos, posting it on TikTok and social media. So you're kind of getting this, like, so these kids are like, oh man, we're famous now that we're, hot on social media.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
really,
does look spooky.
really great stuff. Really great stuff with this one.
Yeah. It probably is solid, especially if it's an A24. I tend to avoid the supernatural movies, right? Yeah.
Not the last A24 film on my list, but this one, Very, very good. Very good.
It looks it. Yeah. Okay, we are on to number 8. For me, this is the Amazon Prime original, The Burial.
I've never heard of this one.
It is fantastic. It is, yeah, Tommy Lee Jones, Jamie Foxx. And Tommy Lee Jones is like a businessman he's like runs funeral homes, and he's not, his business isn't doing too well, and this big giant corporation tries to buy him out. And then so he like makes a deal with them to try and keep himself back to keep himself afloat, his business afloat. And then the corporation like goes back on the deal. So then he tries to sue them, but he like no lawyers taking the case because they know they don't stand a chance against the giant corporate lawyer.
Exactly, yeah.
So he takes a shot, or so this lawyer takes a shot. Jamie Foxx is a lawyer, but he does like more like criminal stuff. He's a good lawyer because he's like a good like performer, and he can really make the jury feel a certain way.
So he's like a Saul Goodman.
yeah, I guess so. He is like so he only takes the cases that are of a jury of like people in a certain town and like other black people, because he knows that he'll most likely win, because his record is that he's never lost a case and he doesn't want to lose that record. So he goes up after some convincing. He goes to he takes this case for Tommy Lee Jones, and yeah, I think it's just a well done legal drama. Fantastic storytelling.
How was the acting from everybody?
I would say pretty solid. I mean, I think these were the only two A-listers, but I mean, yeah, pretty solid. You get to know both of these characters pretty well, I would say. Yeah, I think it was really great. Average 3.5 on on Letterboxd here. I don't know where the other actors are. I guess they're not on.
Yeah, I love Jamie Lee. Jamie Foxx and Tommy Lee Jones. Is that who it was?
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, they're both great.
Yeah, it's a great one. It's a great Prime original, I would say. If you got the chance.
We have Prime, so I guess I can watch this one.
Yep, pretty solid. Alrighty, what is your number 8?
My number 8, it might be on your list you're on, but it is Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh yes, yeah. All right, I'll go. We'll just talk about it now then. Yeah, this was really solid.
Yep. Man, I don't think it's better than 2. For some reason, 2 gets hate in the Marvel community. I have no idea why. 2 is one of the best Marvel movies ever. But this one was a perfect send-off for the Guardians and for Dave Bautista and for a lot of the actors who are in this franchise. Just a perfect emotional send-off. It was everything I wanted it to be.
Yeah, it really had a lot going for it. I think I like all 3 of these movies. I think 2 got hate. Like, I don't hate 2. I think 2 is very solid, but I think it got the hate because it didn't really have much like action. It was a lot of talking most of the movie.
It was a dad drama.
It was a dad drama, and I don't think that's what people were expecting. Yeah.
Plus, I should mention how you and we saw the marathon for this.
Yes, all 3 back to back. So
we saw all 3 back to back. So we had a perfect, clear, opinion on all of them getting ready for 3. And man, 3 was just such a pleasing finale, because Marvel has been stinking this year. Marvel sucked this year, dude.
It's been tanking. For sure it's been tanking. But I mean, even among like the other Guardians movies, I think this movie has like just the emotions are like, it gets so deep with the emotions that we have not seen in like any Marvel movie.
And, not even just like, the stuff with Rocket, because that stuff is great, but also like Peter learning to let go of Gamora. Like that thing between Gamora and Peter where Peter just has to be like, It is what it is. I mean, there's nothing I can do. Time to let go.
Exactly. Especially at a time where Marvel is trying to position its movies to be digestible for a mass amount of audiences. And I think at a lot of times that does include the kids. Like, this movie is like adult themes. There's sadness. There's gore. There's vulgarity. I think it's like the first F-bomb in a PG-13 Marvel movie we've seen ever that I can recall anyway.
Yep, because I was gonna mention how you hit it right on the head with the maturity of this, because I feel like James Gunn realized that people who saw Guardians 1 are now like 8 years older now. So these movies have been growing with its audience. But most of the Marvel just kind of stays the same as it's been for like the past 10 years. I feel like the Guardians trilogy has been growing with the audience, making the audience, think more and realizing, hey, these guys are probably adults now, the audience. So let's make this movie geared towards more adults.
Exactly. Yeah, it does not dumb anything down. It doesn't polish anything up for the sake of digestibility. It's really, I think it deserves a lot of praise for that. It's very solid.
I do find it funny how Marvel fired James Gunn and then they brought him back, and now James Gunn's movie this year is the best Marvel movie from the whole year.
Absolutely. Easily is the best. Fantastic.
Now we'll see what James Gunn will do with the DC universe. So
here's hoping. I will go into it with I'm worried about it, but I will go into it with an open mind. Just fingers crossed.
So that is my number 8, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Fantastic. And that was my number 5, so we will skip that when we get to it. Alrighty. So my number 7.
This is on my watch list. I have not seen this yet, but it's on my watch list.
It is so good. Another Prime original. I am not a sports fan. I typically do not like even sports movies. But this is just goes so much more beyond just the sport of basketball. I confess I did not know much about Michael Jordan before this, other than like
basketball, so you're fine.
yeah, I just knew him as like, now he's like arguably cited as one of the greatest basketball players of all time. But this covers more of a younger Michael, just coming into deciding where he wants to sign with, and go into after he graduates, and goes pro. And also deals with the corporation Nike, who was absolutely tanking. They were like, I didn't realize how much the company was floundering before what we knew today.
Really?
Yeah, they were. And they took such a huge chance on Michael as well, because they only get you only get a certain amount of money to offer players to sign with you. So it starts out with them trying to figure out, like, they're deciding, do we go with these 3 players because they don't have the money to compete with, I think it was like Adidas or something, some other really popular sports company that's around today still, was a juggernaut even back then, and they had the most money they could drop. They could get any player they wanted, basically. So Nike is just getting the scraps. I think, they convinced them to just put all their money into Michael, and it's even less. And Michael's the one who's being scouted by the top dollar people, so they have to make their plea, and it's about Michael's journey and Nike's journey to, and of course we know Michael ends up doing the Nike Airs. Yeah. So yeah, it's really a great way to if you don't know much about that history, I think it's a very compelling watch to really learn about it, especially as someone who's not a sports movie fan of any sport. I think it's a solid watch for pretty much anybody.
How was Ben Affleck's performance?
I mean, solid as usual. I hate this fucking. I know that's just the character, but the fucking bare feet up on the desk.
You hate feet, yes. I mean, we know.
Great. But yeah, it is It is solid. Ben Affleck's not in it too much. Where's the crew? Here it is. Yeah, it is more about Matt. It focuses around Matt Damon, really.
Oh, Ben Affleck directed this.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Dude's a heavy hitter. Yeah. it's
Cool.
It is very solid. I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, it is on my watch list. I didn't get a chance to see it yet, but I saw promotional stuff for it.
Indeed. Yep. History of the Air Jordans. Alrighty. What is your number 8?
7, you mean?
Or yes, 7. That's right. 7.
So my number 7 is a film I saw pretty recently, and that is American Fiction.
I don't think I've heard of this one. Maybe I have.
So this one, the reason why you don't see an audience score yet is I got to see it early at a special screening. So they had a screen unseen thing at AMC. So what that means is that they show you a film that is not coming out for 3 or so weeks. It was like they're pretty much like getting a movie early out to the public audience, without having to be big into film critics and getting early press stuff. So it's a good option to get these artsy movies out to the audience at an earlier time.
Yeah, September 8th. I guess
I
that's
think
wrong.
again, yeah, that can't be.
Oh,
right.
it's shown to the film festival, Toronto Film Festival.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one is a pretty funny premise. So you had this author who's a English teacher, and he's going on a vacation to see his mom and everything, and he's writing a new book, but no one wants to buy it. No one wants to buy his book because they're like, "Hey, you're a black author. We want you to write a book that is about black culture and racism and appropriation and everything like that. Like we want a book that would pretty much sell to the white man pretty much." And he's like, "Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to write a book like that. That's nothing like my writing." So he's like, "Okay, so I'm going to pretty much troll these guys and write the crappiest nonsense ever." He's writing a book he's like, "This is my autobiography. I was in prison for 15 years. I killed 10 people, I was abused by every police officer in my town." And clearly, a fake autobiography. And the publishing company immediately takes it up. It's like, "We're buying this book. We're selling it. This is going to be a great book. We're going to sell to everybody." And it's pretty much a message about how in today's society, everything needs to, have a message in it. And how, every, film company, book publishing company, they want, sappy stories, pretty much. Or at least, I guess a good way to put it is, I guess satirical in a way. How we're like, "Oh, we want you, because you're a black author, you need to write a book, about, what have you dealt with? Well, what racism have you dealt with?" And it's a really, really good moral about how our what's the word I'm looking for? Entertainment industries are pretty much trying to monopolize pretty much films like 12 Years a Slave or other films that are about dark parts of history and how they're trying to capitalize on it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's an overindulgence in that. Every time there's a movie about something like that, it wins Best Picture or is nominated.
Mm-hmm. And there's exactly that. They bring that up too. The movie's pretty much a giant middle finger to all of that.
Yes, is that Bill Maher actually had a great joke about it a few years back. He was like, "I'm tired of seeing nominations that are about the immigrant who spilled their coffee." Something like that. That's what it feels like, basically.
Yeah, and I love the final shot of this movie. So, the guy who wrote the book, Jeffrey Wright's character, there's now a film publishing company that's like, "Oh, we're gonna get the rights to this book, and we're gonna make it a movie so we can make it Best Picture." And the final shot is Jeffrey Wright's character. He's in a car, and he looks to his right, and there's an actor who's wearing like a costume you would see like in a film production of like 12 Years a Slave or something, and the guy who's wearing the costume is just like, what can I do?
Exactly.
Yeah, highly recommend this one. Great writing, great comedy, great satire and messages about today's entertainment industry. Absolutely great. Absolutely great.
Yeah, I hope it comes to HBO. It looks good. I had not heard really almost anything about it. But I guess that's because it's just now having its theatrical release.
Yeah, it's just now getting its theatrical release. Like, let me see when the release date for it is. December 15th, so it's now in theaters.
Okay.
Not sure why there's no audience score, but
Yeah,
what was that?
Okay. My Bluetooth speaker sometimes disconnects and reconnects.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, but great film. Great film.
Yeah, looks pretty good. Alrighty, we are on 6 now.
Now this one, I'm confused of why it's on your list.
Listen, so it got even good reviews on Letterboxd. 4 out of 5.
Okay. 5 stars?
No, okay, my 5-star. If it's a good, it can at most get like 4.5. I would say I give stuff like the 10th star if it's good and I enjoy it a lot.
Okay.
So yeah,
I can't talk because I haven't seen it. But to be fair, I've only seen the first Hunger Game movie. I haven't seen the other ones either.
Okay. Well, okay. In my view, I think this is the best one because it is very long. It's like almost 3 hours long.
Oh my god!
But because it's based off a book, so I think it actually
it's
needs
the prequel, right? Is that what it is?
Yes, it's a very long time ago. This young guy is the President Snow, who's old in the very first movie.
He's hot.
Oh yeah, he's hot. He is hot, no doubt about that. Yeah, I think it was good because it actually uses the length. Because that's usually the big problem with the movie adaptations of books. You have to cram everything in to like an hour and a half. They actually are able to take the time and develop these characters over a course of nearly three hours. But I mean,
3 hours of Hunger Games, my god.
The whole thing isn't Hunger. It's split into 3 acts. There's like a pre-Hunger Games, and then the middle is the actual Hunger Games, and then there's still, even after the Hunger Games ends, there's like another hour. There's stuff that happens afterwards.
Oh my god!
But I think it adds some more depth to the story, because I think that's the best way you can hope to adapt a book, other than having a TV miniseries that's like 10 plus hours.
Or split the movie into 2 parts like they did back then.
Yeah, like they did for Mockingjay.
Did you read the book?
I didn't read any of the books, no. I just seen the movies. I like the movies well enough. I don't think they're phenomenal pieces of work, but I think they're decently solid, and I enjoy like the premise of the book sets up, of this dystopia. And this movie in particular just had so many like characters developed and some twists and turns that I did not see coming at all, and it completely surprised me. That on top of phenomenal music. Rachel Ziegler has an amazing voice, and the music that they write for this movie for her to sing is, I think, really, really good.
Now, do I need to watch the other Hunger Game movies to watch this one? It is a prequel.
No, yeah, it's a prequel. I mean,
I've seen the first one, so I know the premise of it. Like, I know about President Snow, I know about Katniss and what the Hunger Games is, and the districts and everything. So I know about that. I never saw the other movies.
No, yeah, like most prequels, like you can appreciate more if you see the other movies, but plot-wise, you're not gonna like not understand something. because you haven't watched the other ones.
Is that Peter Dinklage?
Yeah, Peter Dinklage is in it. Peter Dinklage, Viola Davis is in it.
Oh, I love Viola Davis.
Yeah. Yeah, she's great. I think it's a very solid way for them to add another piece of content to the Hunger Games franchise. There was the only
Is this
knock.
gonna be a new prequel trilogy, or is this just like one and done?
I don't know. It was based off a book. They're out of books now. The book that this movie was based on came out in 2020, and there hasn't been a new book since. So I wouldn't be surprised if they write a new book and then do a movie. But I don't think we're going to see another movie for quite some time.
All right.
Yeah.
Pretty unique pick.
Indeed, yes. Yeah, only knock I would give it is in the middle of the Hunger Games, they do some like really dumb like the way that you saw how you can send people food in the Hunger Games since you watched the first movie.
Like is it like the balloon things that come down?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is a very early Hunger Games, so they don't have the balloons. They have like drones with propellers and stuff, and they haven't quite gotten the kinks worked out. So they'll send like water, but the drone can't come down for a landing. It just flies in and then crashes. So yeah, so there's like at one point he uses that to like attack the other tributes. I'm like, and they all just happen to hit the tributes perfectly. I'm like, is there really no other way we could have written this? That was like one of the only eye roll moments I had. But yeah, as far as the characters and the performance goes, I think it's extremely solid.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Alrighty, 6 for you. I think we're on 6, yeah.
Yep, so my number 6 is one I'm surprised that is not on your list, and that is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, yes. This will be an interesting conversation. Let's see.
All right. So this one, I keep on going back and forth if I think this one is better than the first one. I think the first one is better still. But man, this one was just a wild ride. Oh my gosh. It pretty much just elevates everything from the first movie like times 10. From the animation to the amount of characters that are in it, premise and story. And I know that you might have a different opinion than me, because I think we have this conversation after we got out of the movie, but yeah. I love the cliffhanger. I love it. I know there's the argument that, it's not a complete movie because we don't have the ending. But, man, this one was just great.
Yeah, so the reason that is probably the reason it didn't make my best list. The reason that I hold that against the movie so much is that we know that you can do a cliffhanger and actually have a complete story, because Empire Strikes Back did exactly that.
I was gonna say, this is our generation's Empire Strikes Back. How can you not love this? How can you not love the cliffhanger?
I mean, I've loved almost everything else except for that. I just can't stand it. They did it in this movie. They did it in Alita Battle Angel. They did it a little in Dune. I'll give Dune a bit more of a pass because I understand it's a big book.
It's a big book.
But yeah, I'm just like, if we know that we can have stories be like complete, because I can't find the climax. I think the movie just has to have a climax to be complete.
Okay, yeah.
Because Empire Strikes Back, the climax was the Vader and Luke fight.
And you could say that the climax in this one was, Miles trying to, escape out of the facility and go back home to save his dad. I can understand your argument, but man, just the cliffhanger for this was just stellar. Oh my god. I remember when we saw this with Nicholas almost just leaped out of his seat like, no, give me more.
I mean, so did I. It was an impressive cliffhanger.
Yeah, but oh my goodness, everything about this was just such a wild ride. It met every expectation. I think I do like the first one more because, yeah, I guess I could agree with you that the story feels more complete in the first one, and I feel like, in a way, less is more because we connect with like all the characters that Miles is with, like Spider Noir, Spider Gwen, Peter B. Parker, all those, and in this one we have like 15 more Spider-Man we got to kind of connect with.
Yeah.
Some of them, like, I don't even remember.
What did I think at the time? I did think it was better. So I did have a little problem with the original. Like, I still really enjoyed like Spider-Verse.
Really?
I gave it 4 stars. Of course. I did enjoy it,
Mhm.
but the ending, I thought, okay, the development feels a little rushed. I guess it felt a little rushed. I don't remember exactly, but the secondary Peter Parker, I guess I thought had more development. It's been a while since I've seen it, but
No, he gets more development in the first one than the second one, for sure.
yeah, there was that, and then I thought at the very end, like, I thought it was a bit of a contrived ending because all of a sudden, I can't really pinpoint, like, they just flip a switch and Miles is all of a sudden knows exactly what he needs to do, and he's completely developed, and he's just kicking everybody's ass. I was like, wait, when did that? It didn't feel like it was like earned for me.
Okay.
Kind of a deal, but I mean, I still liked it. 4 out of 5 stars. I think.
Oh,
I think it deserves
I mean,
its
that's
laurels.
still a great rating, yeah. Yeah, no. But Across the Spider-Verse, just,
And then Across, yeah. I think, it had some good emotional. Yeah, the really
great comedic moments with the Spot.
Yeah, the Spot. Yeah, Spot.
I love how they're making him the main antagonist. I love how they're making Spot like the guy that Miles needs to go and stop.
Yeah, they surprised you. They did the Spot, I think, very well. Yeah. Other than that, I mean, because I couldn't find the whole like second half of the movie is Miles escape the universe. I'm like,
yep. Now that's actually where my one main complaint comes from this, and it's gonna probably be a controversial take, but I hate the design of the Spider-Man headquarters. It is so boring. It's just a lot of like bright white colors. There's like there's no pizzazz to it. It just looks like a futuristic city, I guess. And it's just such a boring location for like the last hour and a half of the movie.
Yeah, I think it was just like a lot of windows and stuff.
There's a lot of windows and hallways.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I would have liked it was more designed like, Spider-Man, he can swing around. Why not design the building the way how Spider-Man, moves, like climbing up walls and stuff like that.
Yeah, cater it to him a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't until he like broke out of it that it was cool. I think when he was climbing that one thing and we could see the city below, I think that part was cool.
Like the elevator thing. Yeah, that was cool. And he goes on the train. Yeah, that stuff is neat. But the interior design of the Spider-Man headquarters is just so...
Yeah. Yeah, my cousin... I get into these conversations with my cousin because he's a Spider-Man fan, but he does not like any of the Spider-Verse movies.
Really?
Yeah. his argument is that like the overall plot isn't compelling because Miles should know better, because Miles is knows that what he's fighting for is the cause of like universe destruction, which would include more, like, it would kill more than just his dad. It would kill his mom and his family and all that.
Everybody.
Yeah, it would kill everybody. So I'm like, I can kind of see that, but like I understand that point, but I think
but at the same
if I was
time,
in the same
if you
position,
knew that your dad was going to die, you would try and save him.
Yeah, if I was in the same position, and especially at that age, not thinking it through all the way, that it would.
Because he's still a kid.
Yeah, he's like a senior in high school. I mean, what did I know at 18? What did any of us know at 18, right? We were not thinking things through.
That's what I knew.
Fair enough. I can see it. Yeah, I mean, I guess I would maybe prefer if it was more of a a problem that I can relate to, but I don't think this really makes it a bad movie in any stretch of the means.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great film. So that is my number. Spider-Man.
Yeah. And the animation style, they use the different like universes that we get to see. The different animation style.
Yes,
that was
like
amazing.
like Hobie's like made out of like papers.
Yeah,
and,
like a paper animation.
Used, yeah, it looks like something you see like off of like a rock and roll band cover.
Yeah, I think it deserves a lot of praise for that. Insane. And Blake was who's an animator for like a living.
He was gushing over everything, dude.
Yeah, he said
over it.
He said you could teach an entire semester's class on just the animation in that one paper scene. I think like that's if can look into all that and find the depth in it, then it must really be impressive.
Yeah, definitely probably gonna win the best animated film at the Oscars.
Oh yeah. Have the nominations for that come out? I don't think so.
Nope. Yeah, and it comes out. It's like in January or something.
Yeah. Okay. Coming up. Alrighty. What did you just do 5 or 6?
That was my number 6.
Number 6. Okay, and then 5 was my Guardians of the Galaxy, which we talked about. So I guess you can go into your number 5.
Okay, my number 5, which you might question why it's a bit lower on my list, but that is Killers of the Flower Moon.
That's fair enough. Yeah, I guess we can talk about that now.
What a fucking good movie, dude.
Really solid.
Oh my gosh. Like, just seeing this just makes me just go, this is why I love movies. Oh my goodness.
It is good. I just watched it last night.
Acting. Oh my god. Oh, so you have a bit of a fresher mind to it, because I saw it a couple months ago.
No, yeah.
Oh my god. You didn't like the ending?
I wanted to see like the verdict of the trial. It was like he testifies and then it cuts to an epilogue. I was like, wait, I want the satisfaction.
Where Martin Scorsese comes up and tells you what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. It took a bit to like kind of hook me. Okay, so I want to know what you thought about the beginnings part. That maybe I just missed something, but I see like DiCaprio is sitting at the kitchen table with Molly, and and then he's like hitting on her, and then she like very accurately calls out, immediately sees like, this dude, you're a gold digger, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Right, like immediately. And then in like 3 minutes later, it like cuts to them like making out in the back of the car. I'm like, when did he win her heart over? Did I miss something?
Yes. So if you remember when they're at the dinner table, and I think it's something like, the window's open because it's raining, and like Leo goes and tries to close the window. Molly, she's like, no, we must obey my culture and my ancestors, we gotta leave the window open. And once he realizes about her culture and respects it, that's when you can kind of see a bit of a change in her look about usually if it was just a gold digging man, they would be like, oh, you're nuts with your culture, what are you talking about, I'm gonna head on out of here. But he was probably like the first person to be like, all right, I'm going to respect the Osage culture.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I wish they'd spend a bit more time. I actually thought like the first hour was gonna be him winning her over, but they just cut right to it.
20 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, and then they never really. They intentionally like never. I don't know if I really couldn't figure out if he realized that he was poisoning her, or not, and I think they do that intentionally.
The way how I saw it is, because clearly he knew that the doctors that were, giving him the what was it?
Like the insulin, and then
insulin. Yes,
they had him put a vial of poison in the insulin.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure he knew deep down that those doctors were not giving her like actual good insulin, but instead like something that was killing her. And you can tell from the look in his face, when she asks him like, do you know what you were putting in my body, or what was in that vial? And he pauses for like 30 seconds and then goes like, insulin. You can tell deep down he knows that was not insulin.
Yeah, I guess it's difficult to reckon with. I mean, because it feels like he really loved her for a lot of the movie,
Yeah,
but then also
true.
poisoned her. I guess
It-
I just like I don't know how you reckon
this
that.
it's mainly this is definitely moral about family corruption, because clearly he loved Molly. Also, he liked his dad and he liked his dad's business. He was listening to everything that his dad told him to do.
Yeah, yeah. What can you do? Yeah, once that like second hour hit, it was like I was strapped in. Like I gotta see what's because this
Yeah.
movie really is like a gangster movie in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's classic in character for Scorsese. Definitely.
Yeah, But I truly believe that. What was Leonardo DiCaprio's character's name?
Ernest
Ernest. Yeah, yeah.
Burkhart, I think.
I feel like Ernest deep down inside knew that what he was doing wasn't right. I mean, he loved Molly, but I felt like he was always trying to win the heart over his dad too, because he was out in the war for a long time, and then he came back. And the first thing that his dad pretty much says to him is like, "You know how to read, boy?" Like, not even like a hello or how are things. It's like, "Do you know how to read?" And he's like, "Well, I kind of know how to read." He's already trying to win, the respect for his dad. Like, his dad doesn't even care, but he was out there, fighting for his country. His dad just wants to know, can this man, be good for my business?
Yeah, he was already trying to rope him into the scheme from the get-go.
Mm-hmm. Immediately.
Yeah, that was pretty solid.
Yeah, great film. So yeah, that is my number 5, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Pretty solid. Okay. Yeah, my number 4. Did you ever get a chance to see Tetris?
It's on my watch list. I saw the promotional stuff for it, and I'm like, oh my god, this looks great.
Yeah, I saw it and I'm like, I like video games, so yeah, I'll give it a watch. But I did not expect like I guess I didn't give too much of an in-depth analysis, but I was not expecting it. I didn't realize that there was such a suspenseful like story behind the creation of Tetris.
Neither
and its
did I.
distribution. So I'm like, because I saw the trailer, there was like, cars chase scenes, intense music. I'm like, there's no way all this happened for a video game,
Mhm.
but it really does happen, and for a very legitimate reason. Yeah, if you like Nintendo, Nintendo is prominently featured in this. You get to learn a bit of Nintendo history.
Nintendo gangsters.
Yeah, if only. Yeah, there's a lot of meat there, because I didn't realize the creator was a citizen of the Soviet Union. So that makes made the distribution of it challenging. So that's them trying to navigate it, and
Was
different
this during
companies want it.
was this during like the Red Scare or something? Or we're trying to get the arcade version of Tetris out, or like how? Was this like?
They were trying to get like, it's people who are fighting over to get the rights for Tetris to mass distribute it, because they want it on their. Nintendo wants it on their consoles. Atari wants it on their consoles. Yeah, I think, who is it? It's not Stalin. I forget who it is. It's a very renowned Russian president. Gosh, I forget the name of Iron Curtain. Gorbachev. It's Gorbachev.
Oh, and Gorbachev, yeah.
Yeah, he's in power. Yes, he does have a little cameo. Yeah, so it really goes pretty deep, and some good learning for the folks out there. Yeah, I really wasn't expecting this to be too good, but it really was. I think it's a great watch.
Yeah, it's on my watch list. Is it on Amazon or?
It's Apple TV, so probably not a lot of people have it. Yeah, so probably not too many people saw it because of that, but but I mean, Apple has some bangers. There's a lot of crap. So because they have to like make their own stuff, they have very few IPs, and Apple has so much money from selling their phones and all that, all their tech, so they can just like like run the faucet full blast, throw anything at the wall, and a lot of it ends up being garbage because, of course, if you're gonna fund a lot of stuff, a lot of it will be garbage. But there will be some real bangers in there because it gets funded, and you don't have to worry about studios being very particular about the stuff because they need the return on investment. Apple doesn't need any return on investment.
Well, Killers of the Flower Moon, that was a
Yeah, that's Apple.
Apple, and also Napoleon.
Right, Napoleon. Yes,
that was Apple.
that's true. Yeah, I wish I could have seen that one. I had meant to.
You'll hear me talk about that in my worst list.
Oh no. Okay. Alrighty, I guess we'll come back to that one.
Alright.
Alrighty.
And my number 4, we talked about earlier, and that is John Wick 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, John Wick 4. Anything else you want to say about that one?
Not really. I mean, just phenomenal action, the best action in the series. Hope they don't make a sequel to this, just leave it where it is. I felt like it was a perfect send-off, and I love what they did with character development for him, how he's just like, I just want to be done with this. You know, I started doing this, for my dog and, death of my wife, and now I just want out again, and I love what they did with the excommunicado and the villain played by I think it's Bill Skarsgård. I think, yeah, Bill Skarsgård. Great antagonist.
Yeah, absolutely. And then they got the spin-off coming with Ana de Armas.
Oh yeah, Ballerina.
Yeah, Ballerina. They've got that
Which,
coming.
Lance Reddick will be in that one. So.
Wow. Okay, he
Yeah,
really recorded a lot of stuff in advance.
Yeah, he will be in that one. I'm pretty sure he didn't film all of his scenes, so they might, fortunately, just make him, sidelined. But he's supposed to be in it. So.
Okay. That'll be interesting to see.
Should we go to your number 3?
Alrighty. Yeah, let's go. My number 3. This is another Apple original. Didn't get a lot of advertising budget behind it, but I was really shocked at how good it was.
I wanted to see this, but oh my goodness, this is A24, right? This is an A24 film?
I have no idea if they were behind it. Let
me see. Yeah, it is A24. Yeah, no.
Okay.
I saw a promotional thing for this, and I wanted to see it, but I don't think it came to theaters. I think it was just like a streaming service one.
Yeah, it was a streaming service. Yeah, streaming service only. Apple TV Plus exclusive. But it's got some heavy hitters with Julianne Moore, Sebastian Stan, John Lithgow. Great performances from them, I would say. Yeah, so it's about these two con artists who just their job is to scam rich people out of their money, and that's how they make their living. So yeah, that's exactly what they do here, and the cons turn into cons of cons of cons, and you just kind of there's twists and turns, as I say in my my review. There's stuff the audience is conned, everything. There's lots of stuff you just don't expect, and I think that makes it a pretty engaging watch.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, I was really wanting to see this one, but never came to theaters. I don't know why. I don't think we had Apple TV by the time this one came out, so.
Yeah, I think it was pretty early on in 2023.
February. Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, absolutely solid if you get the chance.
Let's see. All right. My number 3 is probably the most divisive film on the list. I know you didn't see it because it's not really your cup of tea, but it is Beau is Afraid.
Oh, yes.
A24.
I heard a bit about this.
I don't know how the hell to describe this movie. It is the most batshit insane film I have ever seen in my entire life. It's not scary. So I think you would like it for that. It's not scary, but it's fucking weird. So pretty much you have this character named Bo, played by Joaquin Phoenix, and he gets news that a tragedy has happened in with his family. So he's got to pretty much trek on a journey back home. The thing is, he's a worrywart. He worries about everything. He's scaredy cat. Bo is afraid. He's afraid of everything.
Right in the name.
Yeah, right in the name. And you can tell, like, with flashbacks that happen, that he's got a bit of family trauma that's going on with him. And the first 2 hours of this movie, I was fully hooked. Writing was great. The acting was great. The premise was just the right amount of weird. Because I know A24 films can get out there, especially by Ari Aster, who's made Hereditary, which is one of my favorite films of all time. In fact, Hereditary is the movie that got me into making film reviews on YouTube. So I felt it was like my due diligence to see all of Ari Aster's films, and this one, I think it's his second best. It's better than his previous one, Midsummer, but it's genuinely impossible to explain what happens in this movie. Because the final hour is the most what the fuck am I looking at last hour of any movie I have ever seen. Like the final the final shot of this is like it just like a still shot of something while the end credits roll, and I saw this with my my brother, and we were both just staring at the screen with our jaws just on the floor of like, what the fuck did we just see? Like it's a masterpiece in my opinion, but also at the same time it's got so many problems. Like I genuinely don't know how to explain what happens in this movie. Think of it as like taking drugs and at the same time running like a 5K. That's the best example I can give this movie. Highly recommend it, because it's one of those things where you really have to see it to believe it.
Yeah, it does look extremely weird, and they seem to be like, it's hard to thrill the turn of a screw when the wheels have already come off. I don't even know if that's a bad thing.
The wheels are off minute one. Like, the first thing that happens, it's like, oh, it's that kind of movie.
Yeah, usually my attention span is doesn't put up with a movie like that.
The biggest complaint is that it's 3 hours.
Yeah,
it does not need to be 3 hours. It can easily be 2.
Dang.
But man, like, this is one of those films where like it's creativity like this and bad shit craziness like this that makes me love movies. It's like people can have these such weird ideas and somehow make it work. Now, it's not for everybody. The row in front of us, oh my god, their reaction was the best. When the movie ended, they were like, that can't be the ending. What happened? Explain! Which you get no explanation about anything.
Yeah, I bet there was a lot of frantic Google searching following that movie.
Yeah, like there's this one YouTuber that I watched that's pretty much like, oh, Bo is movie ending explained, and he had a Bo is Afraid one that was just like 1 minute long, and he goes, I don't know how to explain this, guys. Yeah, just I highly recommend it. Like if you're not doing anything like in the evening, you just be like, you know what, I got 3 hours to spare. I'm gonna give it a watch. Highly recommend it. I mean, that's all I can say is you have to see it to believe it. I'm very curious what the Letterboxd score is. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a 2.
Average 4.
3.5.
Or yeah, 3.5. But most people gave it 4. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, just go. I really want you to see it because I just want to get your reaction out of it.
Yes, I will see if my attention span hasn't been ruined enough that I can sit through a 3-hour movie of weird stuff.
The thing is, it's so like energetic that there's no way you can lose your attention span with this, because it's like taking like 10 5-hour energies for how insane this gets. Like, you can't like not be, engaged by it.
Okay, that's good to hear. Yeah, because even the long movies that are like even more like film bro oriented, like Killers of the Flower Moon, like that first hour is like I played a couple of games. I admit I played a few games of Marvel Snap It during that time. I was like, all right, they're talking.
No,
like I can multitask.
Okay, yeah. With Beau is Afraid, it's like it is like a million miles per hour from second one to the final second. It is just straight. Boom.
Yeah, it does look quite wild. I mean, yeah. I can handle the truth.
Yeah, like
Capetto. Hold up.
Yeah,
so my grandpa ate half a quart of paint today thinking it was yogurt. Okay. The Letterboxd reviews are at least funny.
Yeah, no, I'm fully getting all these references. Oh, God.
Oh,
I think he's great, too. Joaquin Phoenix does a great job.
Yeah, he's great. Phenomenal.
Yes, that is my number 3. The flawed masterpiece, Beau is Afraid.
All right, and I guess we can just skip to your number 2, because my number 2 is Killers of the Flower Moon, which we talked about.
Right. My number 2, which I hope you have seen, and that is The Holdovers.
Oh, that's one I didn't get to see. Yes, or at least before this stream. I plan to watch it before the Christmas season is out, but it looks really good. I loved how the trailer made it look like a 90s movie. I love that.
It looks like that too.
I'm
like
nostalgic for it.
Cinematography and everything, like the cameras they use, looks like something straight out of like, a like 90s or 80s Christmas film. Yep.
Yeah, it looks like it strikes a good balance between the comedy and the drama.
This, in my opinion, is a instant classic. This will be something I'll be watching every year during the holidays. Usually, for most Christmas films, I've got to be like, that was good. I might watch, a few Christmases from now. No, The Holdovers, I will be watching every single year. Like, this is Paul Giamatti's best performance, and in my opinion, the best performance of the year. I know, Cillian Murphy did a great job in Oppenheimer, but I think Paul Giamatti should take the Oscar for best actor.
He is talented.
His performance is so good. So pretty much the premise of this film is that these students go to a Catholic school, and Paul Giamatti's character is one of the professors there, and this professor is such a giant, tight ass. No one likes him. He's the professor who is like, the bell does not dismiss you, I do. Think of that times 10 for how much of a hard ass he is. And but this kid, Mr. Tully, he has to stay at the school because for a Christmas vacation, because his parents are off doing a honeymoon, so they can't like let him leave the school. So he's like pretty much the holdover, left there at the school and has to stay there for 2 weeks while everybody else goes on Christmas vacation. And so Paul Giamatti's character, he's forced to stay there to pretty much babysit this teenager that he does not like in the slightest. And you get to know these two characters and like what they've been through life, and the hard times they've gone through. It's such a emotional yet heartwarming film. Like, just watching it, you can just feel Christmas when the Christmas trees and like the Christmas lights throughout the film, and the beautiful snow. It just screams instant classic Christmas film. It's just so good.
Okay, so you would say it captures the Christmas spirit.
100%, absolutely. Like, so good.
That's good to hear because we don't get too many new Christmas classics ever. I would say the most recent one I saw would be like Spirited that came out last year. I don't know if you saw that with.
With Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. No, yeah. I heard it was good. I didn't see it, but I heard it was good.
Oh yeah, fantastic! Yeah. That one's a great Christmas movie. Yeah, I'd say that's my new like modern classic. Yeah, you just don't see too many of them these days.
Yeah, this one is absolutely an instant classic. It's got a lot of heart. The ending, it warms your heart, but also it makes you be like, oh, it's a bittersweet ending. Man, just absolutely fantastic. And also the actor who plays the kid, I think it's Dominic Sessa. This is his very first performance, and he does phenomenal. Like, he is just a natural at acting.
Huh. Yeah, that's good to hear. Yeah, I'm hoping. I really wanted to see it. I was like, I wanted because I was trying to watch it with my parents like a couple nights ago, but it was like just barely too late. She's like, I don't have time for a over 2 hour movie. My mom was like, I'm like, fine.
Yeah. Like I'm seeing a lot of love for this film on Twitter, not just by film bros, but also by like people that just like going out to see movies. Like, I'm seeing the love come out for this, and it just makes me so happy that people are actually going out to see this.
Yeah, absolutely. I will definitely see this before the season is out. Yeah, it looks really good.
Like, this is a perfect like Christmas Eve film to put on, and watch it with the family. Absolutely great.
Yeah, that's good. So you would say it's a good has some rewatchability at least.
Yeah, because the comedy is great too. There are a lot of funny moments. Like, when you're watching a film and you see like the actors play off each other, like their chemistry is just great. You can instantly feel that here. The chemistry between the actors is great. The writing is solid. Absolutely, definitely rewatchability.
Okay, yeah, that's good to hear. Very important for a Christmas movie. That's the problem with a lot of the modern ones. I don't know if you saw that Kristen Stewart Christmas movie, the Hulu one.
Is that the one where she's in New York? Is that it?
I don't think she like goes home for the holiday.
Is that the one where she was with her girlfriend?
Yeah, she goes with her girlfriend's parents for the holidays.
No, I didn't see that one, but I saw like Hulu ads for it.
Yeah, like I thought it was decent enough. Like, I enjoyed watching it, but it just didn't have the rewatchability value.
Yeah, no, I feel like this one's got some pretty good rewatchability.
Yeah, you definitely need it for a Christmas classic. That is for sure. We'll see if my list isn't updated with it by the end of the year.
All right.
And
we both had the same number one.
Okay, I was gonna say Oppenheimer. I mean, what else could it have been? I mean, I don't know.
This is one of the best films in like the past 5 years, dude. Like, so good.
Yeah, it was. I like how usually with a lot of these like very narrative-based movies, they tend to be like slow and drag parts out. That's what I thought was going to happen here, but it is not only super engaging, but you have to be paying attention to all the names and everything that's happening. Even if it doesn't come up again for another hour, you've got to remember it because it's going to affect the story later.
Yes. Yeah, like I'm seeing on you here when you say like boring science jargon. Yeah, that's true. But also, the film kind of makes you feel smart in a way because you're hearing all these scientific words. Like, I don't know what this means, but I know what they're talking about. I understand this.
Yeah, by the end of it, I feel like I did understand a bit more of the jargon.
Boom.
Yeah, bomb go boom. Maybe it's just I'm not like a math science person, and my eyes just glaze right over when I hear jargon like that. But yeah, it didn't like taint it or anything. It was probably necessary to be honest.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can't really dumb down a movie like this, and that's what I appreciate about it is that. Yes, even though this movie was a big hit at the box office, I think now the highest grossing film that's about like what are those called? Biopics. Is like the highest grossing like biopic now or something.
It's gotta be, yeah. It's
Yeah, but it doesn't treat its audience stupid. It doesn't like, tone things down. It's like, no, we're gonna make you feel like you're in the same room with these scientists talking about, the atomic bomb.
yeah, it probably treats the audience as smarter than we actually it might be.
True, yeah. It's like the audience is like, you know what this movie, I mean, you know what this word means, right? It's like, no, but I'm gonna pretend like I do.
Exactly. And then they had the I guess the only other real knock I had was that the way that they did not explain that I had to look up what the meaning of the black and white scenes was, because it totally changed the way I saw it the second time around. It made the whole film made so much more sense because I knew the black and white scenes were from Strauss's point of view, and the color scenes were Oppenheimer's point of view. Totally changed it. I'm like, man, I wish people knew the whole point of it, because it's at least to me it wasn't obvious at all.
Yeah. Oh man, and the ending, in my opinion, is the best ending to a film like this decade, dude. Like, the ending is just so freaking good.
Oh yeah, the way that they turned pretty much from the very ending of the his confirmation hearing, where he like turns the tables on the assistant and turns out he was the smart one. Strauss was the smart one the whole time.
Yes.
Didn't see that coming at all.
Nope. Oh man, so good. And like the final shot, with like the bombs coming down, like the fire going around Earth. It just makes you feel like, oh, we're fucked.
Yeah. There's a whole new respect for life that could happen in theory. It could happen at any moment. It's crazy to think we've gone this long without something happening.
Yeah, but I think this is gonna absolutely be the Oscar sweep. This is gonna win all the awards, dude.
Absolutely.
But did you hear that? Oppenheimer was not one of the runner-ups for Best Visual Effects. This movie's not going to be nominated for Best Visual Effects.
Wow. Is it an effect if it is just a straight-up explosion?
If it's a real... I mean, they had practical effects.
I guess that's true.
They recreated a nuke.
They did. Yeah. That was very impressive, especially seeing it in the 70 millimeter.
Dude, that first shot where it's just, Cillian Murphy, like, and it's just a tall screen. I think both of you and I went, oh.
Yeah.
It was so overwhelming, dude. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The way the explosion goes from, like, the bottom to the top of the screen. They use that height. Ooh.
Yeah. Like, you needed sunglasses during that bird, dude. I was like, oh.
Oh, you very much did. It was pretty good. Yeah, I don't see how this is going to sweep so many awards.
Oh yeah,
without a doubt.
I still think Paul Giamatti needs to win Best Main Actor, but I think if it's not going to be him, it's definitely going to be Cillian Murphy.
Without a doubt, they both really deserve something.
Robert Downey Jr. absolutely has Best Supporting Actor in the bag. I mean, this is his best performance, hands down.
It is it's astounding performance. Really good, yeah. If you're going to watch this, I'd say lock your phone up, have a couple of shots of espresso, and put closed captions on, because you're going to need it.
Closed caption, yes. I don't think you need the espresso, because I think this film is super energetic. I mean, it's going bam, 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 bam. Yeah, it can be a bit slow, but like, you go from like one scene of people talking to the next scene, to the next scene, to the next scene, like super quick. I feel like the pacing was really well done here.
No, yeah, not for the pacing, so you can focus, and because it's so
true.
fast.
Okay, yes. And then everyone, yes.
So you can see everything.
It's
yeah.
fast.
Yeah, because we've seen it twice now, and I feel like there's even stuff I missed both times. Like,
Dude, I even after my second watch, I'm like, I don't remember any of those names except for Oppenheimer and Strauss.
yeah. Yep. And
I
Josh
just started calling
Peck.
people, I just started calling people by their actor name. Like, okay, that's Matt Damon. That's Rami Malek.
Yeah. That's Josh Peck from Drake and Josh.
Dude! I can't believe that was him.
I know, yeah. Who would have thought he'd land such a role in a movie of this caliber?
Would have thought he'd be the one to send down the nuke.
Yep, he is the one. That it was just crazy because that came out around the time that he was in the How I Met Your Father TV show when that was releasing. So I went from like
He was in
that.
that?
Yeah, he's a character in that, recurring. Yeah, so I was like, wow, the guy from Oppenheimer's in How I Met Your Father. It would be crazy.
Oh man. I have easily number one. I feel like this would be number one on like everyone's list.
Absolutely, yeah. It's more people gave it 5 stars than gave it any other rating.
Now, my question is, do you think this film would be as popular if it weren't for Oppenheimer?
If it weren't for Oppenheimer.
No, Barbenheimer.
Oh, Barbenheimer.
Yeah, Barbenheimer.
I think it would because Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Maybe not if it was like some no name, someone we never heard before. But I mean, yeah, I don't think. I think because it kept playing long. I think the Barbenheimer people just saw it like release day. And the people who were mainly there for Barbie were like probably didn't care too much for for this movie. They're just doing it for the meme.
Like I was gonna say, maybe people didn't see. People only saw Barbie because of Oppenheimer.
Yeah, but I mean the film carried. It stayed in the theater a long time, and it's not even on any streaming service yet. It's still like $20 to rent on streaming.
Do you know what's crazy? Is that the physical copy for this was sold out for months.
I
the
believe
4K
it.
copy of this was completely sold out. I went to like 4 different stores to find a physical copy, and each one was like, "We're sold out, dude. We sold out like the day we got these in."
Oh my god! Did you ever find one?
I got one finally.
Okay. It's like how many more stores did you have to go to?
I just waited. I just waited till like a few, like I think I had to wait like 3 weeks or so before like stock like finally got back in.
Yeah, I 100% believe it. That's yeah. I can't. I want to listen to it on Tommy's dad's speakers that we heard this past week.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, the people might call the police when the bomb part happens. Be like, "Oh my god, a bomb actually went off."
Yeah, dude. He's gonna have glasses falling down, like so much shaking.
His windows shatter behind him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, worth the watch, I would say. Everyone out there.
Do we want to go ahead and do our anticipated list or worst list?
I think you have a worst list, don't you?
Yeah, I got a few worst ones.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so-
Let's do the worst because we both have worst, so we can alternate in that. You have an anticipated, and then I have a favorite. So I guess since those don't really go together, we can probably just save those for the end. I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
but since we both have worst movies, and this actually ended up to an even 10. So I don't know. Do you have 10 on yours?
I got 7, but my heart's broken on some of your lists. We're gonna have a talk about your number 1, sir.
Oh boy, we will. Yeah, I guess we already talked about the Mario Bros. Movie, so this was my 10. Not a fan of the plot, but I respect the fan service. Recast Pratt is my in essence of it.
All right. Do you want to go to mine and then we'll go to yours?
Oh wait, you have another 7. You're maxed out at 7.
Oh yeah, I got number 7. Okay, we can do your.
Okay, I will go. Yeah. So my 9 is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Did this make yours?
It did, and I would say my opinions to when I get to it.
Okay. Um. So yeah, Indiana Jones. Yeah, not under. I can see it from a fan service angle. Especially like the first 20 minutes, I think really hit the nostalgia berries. I think the first 20 minutes was actually pretty solid. But I mean, like, yeah, the way they went about handling the plot, and they just forced stuff to happen, and that that dude who was sleeping I can't get over the dude who was sleeping in the back of his plane didn't realize it had been taking off in a heavy storm until
Oh my god!
like, bro, really? He just happens
Dude,
to be in there.
I think I was in denial when because I think on my Instagram post I did, I was like, oh my, you know what? That was actually kind of, a fun little adventure. Not as good as the other ones, but not bad. But that 10-minute car ride on the way home, I got angrier, angrier, angrier. I will say my opinions to when I get to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't. The ending was it's a bit odd, the way they was like, he wants to stay there, but then he doesn't get to stay there. I'm like, okay, I guess that's a way to end it. Sure. Yeah, I didn't care much for what was that, his goddaughter's character.
Yeah.
We don't get much about her, and she's kind of annoying most of the movie.
She's definitely look, you can it's right, strong female leads, but when you make that their only characteristic, that like of being like, oh, girl power, like that's their only characteristic, like, no.
Yeah, we need a bit more.
All
Yeah.
for strong female leads. I'm all for them, but please write them good.
Yes, they do. Make them more like Ripley from Alien.
Yes.
Need more stuff like that. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I found her annoying most of the time, and then
Discount short round.
yeah, rip. Very unfortunate.
Kid.
And then they beat up on. They like throw Indiana Jones through the ringer, and he's like 80. I'm like,
there are 10 times when this man should have died.
yeah, I was like, they slam him into a. Doesn't he have like a bookcase fall near on him or something like that? And I'm like, this man needs a hospital. His bones so brittle.
Car, dude.
It's like he's not 20, dude. His bones are so brittle at that age.
And
like, he needs a hospital.
I will bring up this. So in that flashback in the beginning, like that first 20 minutes, when Mads Mikkelsen character like gets hit by like a lamppost or something on the train, and he comes back, I'm like, oh, they're gonna bring up like how he survived that. Maybe it was the dial or something. Nope, he just survived a head-on collision thing while riding a train.
Yeah, yep. It was filled with a lot of low effort stuff that just amalgamated to a.
Which
not
surprises
so great
me because this is made by the guy that made Logan.
Oh man,
The Marine movie.
Yeah.
A movie about a grumpy old man. It should have been perfect.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. The only thing I can think of is some studio interference that made him have to like butcher characters and stuff. I don't know.
But again, like you'll hear a rant about this in a little bit.
Yep. Average 3 stars. Yep. Hoped for better. And then 8, Blue Beetle. I don't know if that was on your list. We saw this together as well.
Blue Beetle is on my list.
Okay. Yeah.
Blue Beetle is my number 3.
Yeah, I don't even fault you for it. It was I was expecting so much better. But the
main praise I can give it is the passion from the main lead. You can tell that he's having a great time playing Blue Beetle. You can tell that he's having an absolute joyful time just playing this character, but only if the writing and script and story were better.
I know. They even the little stuff, like they force, like when he's wearing in the beginning where he's walks into the corporate office and he's wearing a suit, and the front desk clerk is like, the delivery or the custodial staff or something is in the back room.
Yeah.
It's like he's so obviously not there to
Like,
be
who
a staff.
talks like that, first of all?
Like, he's wearing a full suit. Who shows up to
Yeah.
his... Yeah. Is clearly not that. And then immediately it follows up by he's like, my name's Jaime. And I obviously don't expect a white person to say it with the flair of, like, that it was intended. The Hispanic flair. But she hears him say, my name is Jaime. And immediately says, oh, hi, Jamie. Who would do this?
I'm about to say.
Like, who? You just heard it, bro. It's not even like it's... I understand if she saw it written out. Kay was having a mental breakdown. He's looking for the good plot in Blue Beetle.
Sorry.
He couldn't find it. But, like, yeah, I understand if it was written out. A white person might just say, like, Jamie. But this man said it to you. You got no excuse. I'm like, that was so unrealistic. And then yeah, it was so unserious. It shifted between serious and goofy. I was like, bro.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, and George Lopez, I think, was a high point.
He was, yeah. But there was also a weird, like, tonal shift in the movie too, like when spoilers, when Blue Beetle, when, like, is it his dad or grandfather that dies? Do you remember?
Oh gosh.
Dad or grandfather? Either
It's
way,
his dad.
When one of the character dies, like, it's such a, like, heavy emotional scene that clearly doesn't fit. I'm like, dude, like, a couple minutes ago we were making fun jokes. Now we're, like, having this super, like, gritty, serious moment with people, like, crying and screaming. I'm like, bro, chill. You're a Blue Beetle. You're not Citizen Kane.
I know. It didn't even need to happen either. Like,
it really
he could have easily just... It's because he didn't want to kill these... Like, so it was the people... They were holding guns on his family. I'm like, you're telling me you don't want to kill them? Like, they were literally about to just cap his entire family. But he's like, I don't want to kill these people.
I would immediately be like, bam, done.
I would have just tore right through him. I'm like, great.
Yeah, no, this... so disappointed with this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I wrote a decent bit about it.
Yeah, because our audience was, having a good time with it, but once it ended, me and you looked at each other like, did you like that? And you were like, no, I didn't either.
Okay, yeah, it was Hispanic fan service is why they liked it. Our whole audience was like Hispanic Americans, so they were laughing at some of the Spanish references, Spanish culture references. So I'm like, all right, fair enough. If you enjoy that, you enjoy that. But as far as the actual meat of the plot, it's like the antagonist. I can't tell you anything about the antagonist other than she was a woman.
I forgot who it was.
Is the Susan Sarandon?
I thought it was the other person, like the guy in like the Red Beetle suit or whatever it was.
That was like one of her minions. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. There was. Yeah, the main baddie was Susan Sarandon is just generic corpo villain, and they don't even give us anything else beyond that the entire time. There's nothing we can say about this villain.
No, yeah. I think the main compliment I can give the movie is I like the look of the suit. I think the suit looks great.
It does look pretty solid. Yeah, CG was fair enough. Not too bad, but it wasn't utilized too much because there was, I think, only 3 action scenes in the entire movie.
It sounds about right.
I'm like, what? Like, this is a superhero movie. We don't have villains we're developing, so we might as well have some action, but we don't even get that.
Yep. Oh man. Oh yeah. So that's Blue Beetle.
Indeed, it was.
Yep. That was my number.
Let's see. Yep. Yeah, they use the technology as a MacGuffin.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty predictable. Action scenes. I did enjoy them when they did happen. They just didn't really happen.
The romance wasn't believable either.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Bro, she's way out of 90% of this population's league. Like, bro, she's gorgeous. She's really gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 8. Okay, so all right, so now we both have a 7. So yeah, I guess we'll start our alternating. You probably haven't heard of this. My number 7 thing.
What am I looking at here?
The Wrath of Becky. So this is actually a sequel to a movie called Becky that came out I think a few years ago, like 2019, 2020, and the original actually has Joel McHale in it.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, it wasn't well known by any stretch of the means. But yeah, she's basically, in the first movie, her mom is dead, and her dad is dating somebody else with another kid, and the dad is trying to force like a bond between her and this other family because he wants to marry this woman, but she's not having it. Doesn't want the mom to be her new mom, but Joel McHale's character keeps just forcing it and takes them on a vacation to their vacation home. And then Kevin James is actually in that one too. He's the villain.
Kevin James is the villain?
Yeah, I didn't think he actually plays a pretty good villain. I didn't expect it. He's like a Nazi that's escaped from prison, and he basically, like, he's looking for something in their vacation home, and he's holding the family hostage. And Becky is like, I think she's like 12 in the first movie, and the movie is basically about her killing everybody and saving the family.
It looks like you're kind of in the minority here, because Wrath of Becky is certified fresh.
Yeah,
Got an 86.
Yeah, okay, average 3. I don't think it deserves it. Yeah, the especially if you've seen the people who have seen the first one, I thought the gore was pretty, like, that's really what the movie's for. Like, its bread and butter is brutal murders by this young girl, and this second one doesn't really have much to do with the original. It felt like a cash grab, if you can call it that, since I don't know if it was too popular to begin with. But yeah, Becky doesn't really have any development. The killings aren't as cool, and they clearly make this one like an anti-Trump, like they because the main villains are like these like white supremacists who want to do an insurrection, and they're planning it.
Okay, so clearly, making side jokes about, the January 6th thing.
Yeah, basically.
Is it at least funny, or is it just more like
you could say maybe a little
satirical?
There's a few jokes here and there, because I mean the whole prospect of a little girl doing these murders is funny on its own in a certain way. So there's a little bit.
I'm not a Trump supporter, so whenever I see something like that happen in a movie, I kind of chuckle.
No, yeah, I mean they deliver it hard, because at one point they're even like, somebody cracks a joke and then somebody's like, that would go so hard on Parlor. I'm like, wow, okay. Oh. They actually just name drop a real app.
Oh my god, it's that kind of writing.
Yeah, and yes. And so, unlike the first movie where the villains come to her family and hold them hostage, Becky has zero reason to be there. They force a reason because she's a waitress at a diner and she's rude to them because they're rude to her. So she's rude to them. She spills coffee on one guy, and then that gets them just mad enough to follow her home. And I think they do a John Wick and kill her dog or capture it or something. And then that's the whole entire reason that she's there, trying to kill these guys in the first place.
So John Wick ripoff.
Yeah, pretty much. It was just like, it didn't seem anywhere near as compelling as the original. So Yeah, I would give it 2 out of 5. That's my below average. I would say 2.5 is average, 3 is above average, and beyond. So I would just say that's a below average iteration of Becky. Especially as a fan of the original, I was like, this is like just not as good. Even if it's not like dog shit, it's not as good as the original in every single way possible.
So pretty big disappointment for you.
Yeah, it was a disappointment for me indeed. I was really excited for it when I saw a trailer for a second, but yeah, not as good.
All right. So my number 7. So this film, I knew it wasn't going to be good. I knew it wasn't going to be, but as a fan of this franchise for a while, I was at least hoping to go in with some, at least positives, and that is Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh boy, here we go. I can't wait to have this conversation. Actually, I do want to hear your point of view.
Okay, so I have been a huge fan of the games since the very first one, which I think came out in 2014.
It was weird. We like either early high school or
high school. Yeah, it was early high school. Okay, yeah, we were freshmen in high school when the game came out, and I just absolutely fell in love with the lore and the gameplay. Like, I was one of those guys that would like spend hours just watching like game theory videos on this series. Like, even though I know that the games technically aren't that good, like on a gameplay standpoint, they have a special place in my heart. Like, I love Five Nights at Freddy's as a franchise. Now, the movie has a lot of positives when it comes to fan service. Mm-hmm. This is very similar to like the Mario movie for you. Like, I can appreciate the fan service, but the story as a whole, it sucks, dude. Like, the story just sucks. And even as someone who's been a fan and understands the lore and everything, I don't know how someone who has never seen any of the lore could even follow what was happening. Like, man, the writing is just, this seems like a Wikipedia article of the lore, and they just made that the script.
So here, I think we have a pretty vast difference here. I really enjoyed it. And I wanted to hate this movie so bad. Because I can't stand people who like Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm like, the people who like this game are like in the corner eating notebook paper in school, like in general, or they're like little kids, you know.
Well, who's coming crawling back to us?
But so, and as far as you said, maybe it's because you understand more of the lore than I do, but I found it like, as I didn't know any of the lore going in, but as it went on, I just kept finding myself wanting to actually know the lore. It hooked me into the lore, and I just wanted to know more and more about the game. Maybe I should try the games. But I just wanted to know more and more as the movie went on. This didn't make either of my lists, but I did review it. I generally enjoy, because I looked at this as a slasher, but with actual lore behind it that I was interested in, and I wanted to know more and more as the film went on. So, I mean, to me, I'm like, yeah, there's not many good slashers out, really, ever. So to find one that has lore that I'm interested in, I thought made for a pretty solid film, at least for a slasher film. But of course, not going to make my best anything. Didn't even make my favorites of anything. But I'd say I enjoyed it.
So on a production level, phenomenal. I love the way the animatronics look. I love the way how the pizza complex is set up. I like how they have like things from the 80s, like, we got 80s technology and whatnot. But man, it's just the writing and the jump scares. And even though, yes, the games have a ton of jump scares in them, they're kind of scares that are in those games. Yeah. It's different when you make a movie. You can't have that be the only kind of scare, because when you're playing the game, it's only scary for like 5 minutes because you're so used to the jump scares. Here, you're trying to be scary for, or at least a thriller for an hour and a half, and it really doesn't work. I was really engaged in the first 20 minutes because I'm like, oh man, screw the critics. I'm having a ball here. This is great. But once we really started getting to, the security guard stuff, that's when it starts falling apart for me. Like the random fort building scene where they build like a pillow fort.
That was random. I will say that was random.
Yeah, and just like, oh man, just like some of the jump scares were so goofy. I as a fan, like, I can't say I'm pleased. Even though I knew the movie was gonna suck, I was still left pretty disappointed.
Yeah, why is Epic Games launching? Get out of here. Yeah, the jump scares, I wasn't impressed. I will not say that was a hallmark of it. I don't think it really got as quote unquote scary until like maybe the final bit when they were about to kill the kid. I think you can maybe make an argument there. But yeah, it wasn't too scary. I was just mainly interested in like literally every single character. I want to know more about them. So that just kept my attention throughout the entire movie.
I recommend going to look up like a big YouTube video about the whole lore. I feel like you would have a good time then.
I just might. Or maybe I wait for Five Nights at Freddy's 2 through 5 movies.
Because this movie made a lot of money. This is the highest Blumhouse film. When you think about it, that's the same company that made the Halloween reboots, and those movie made a lot of money. This movie banked at the box office. This movie made bank.
Yeah, my friends, I saw it with my cousin who was off of work that day, so we went to see it in like the afternoon, and it was mainly like not many people in general, but mostly adults. And then my other friends went to see it on like a Friday night, and they said their theater was like completely filled with kids.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I went to the midnight premiere and my theater was empty. I was like, oh, this movie's gonna bomb, isn't it? It made a lot of money.
Yeah, it's just past their bedtimes.
True.
I mean, yeah.
So yes, that is my number 7, Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm glad you liked it though.
Yeah, the last thing I was expecting. Because my cousin is like has taken me to see a lot of these fan service movies that I just haven't really clicked with. Because I'm not as big a fan.
Did its job then.
Yeah, for real. It's like he took me to see like Sonic, Detective Pikachu. I'm like, I can see the fan service angle, but I don't think these are really great, like film wise.
I'm surprised this is the one that you liked and not Mario. That surprises me. I'm kind of baffled a little bit.
It's graded on a bit of a curve because I look at it as a slasher. So that probably factors into a bit. So like Sonic, Detective Pikachu, they're not slashers by any stretch of the means.
No.
Yeah, so that probably factors into it a bit for me. But yeah, surprise of the year for me, honestly.
There we go.
I'll happily admit I liked it. What was that? Was that your 7 or 6?
That was my 7.
That was your 7. Okay. All right. I don't know if you got a chance to see 65.
I'm so glad I did not see this. The premise looked cool.
No, yeah, the dinosaurs look friggin' awesome. So this movie is a lot like that movie After Earth with Jaden Smith. I don't know if you saw that one. A lot people hated it.
No.
People hated that one.
That's not a good sign already.
So I think the idea behind like After Earth and 65, I think it could have been really good. Like you crash land on a dystopian Earth. I think there's a lot of potential with that, but they don't do. There's literally the explanation, like the exposition is like a minute or two in the very beginning, where Adam Driver literally just says what he's going to do, and then it cuts to him. Then the movie starts, and it cuts to him doing exactly that, crash landing on Earth, or I don't know if it was called Earth, whatever, 65 million years ago, probably was something like Earth.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and there's only one other person that he crash lands with, and she doesn't speak English, and they're with each other the whole time, and it's a communication barrier between those two people the whole time. It gets so annoying. They should have just made them both speak English. It's like, how many times is this problem gonna reoccur and affect the story? It's like, we need something new.
Yeah, I mean, futuristic dinosaur stuff sounds really cool. When I saw the trailer, I was like, oh man, this looks pretty neat. But I never ended up seeing it. I think I was probably busy or something.
No, yeah, I waited for like the Netflix release. I was like, I'm not worth seeing. I know it's gonna be bad, but like the dino aspect of it looks cool. And to be fair, that was a cool part. Like the CG and the sci-fi weapons are really awesome.
So the effects are pretty decent.
Yeah, effects are good. The tools he uses are cool, but like just the main story, they don't actually use much of it, because most of it is just like her doing something dumb because she's a kid, or her not understanding what Adam Driver's telling her to do because she doesn't speak English. And that's the majority of the problems for the entire movie up until the end. Yeah. And then the end, they just kind of and then at the end, when the language barrier is just for whatever reason dropped, and she can perfectly understand what he's trying to communicate.
Oh, fuck off.
I'm like, what happened? Just because we need to end the movie. The stakes are a lot higher, I guess.
I hate when movies do that.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. And then the coolest part would be, the ending scene because of the T-Rex. Yeah, that's all I can really say. Effects and nothing else, really.
Is Adam Driver good?
He's fine. He's not given much to work with. Is really it. But I mean, he delivers it. I mean, you honestly didn't need someone like Adam Driver for this kind of character that they've written. But he fills the seat as good as most common actors, I would say. There's just not much fleshed out in this movie. Very disappointing.
Yeah. So my number 6 is Napoleon.
Napoleon. Did not get to see it.
Yeah, man.
Critics and audience weren't huge fans of it, I can see.
Okay, so let me start with the positives first. Joaquin Phoenix is pretty good. He's not great, but he's pretty good. I'm not a huge history buff with this part of history, so there were some parts that I was pretty lost on. Like, I don't remember that part of history. I don't remember that part of history. So if you are a history buff, I'm sure you're going to love this movie. But in my opinion, this was a 3-hour snore fest. This movie was so boring.
Unfortunate.
So the part that I didn't know that this was going to be mainly focusing on is the romance between Napoleon and his wife. I forget her name. So the battles are pretty cool, but a lot of the time it's just spent on this relationship that you just do not care about. Yeah, and it's just like I hate to use this term, but they made Napoleon an incel in this movie.
No.
He's 100% an incel, dude. Like, he gets cucked in like the first 20 minutes.
Tragic.
Yeah.
Maybe he was an incel in real life.
Who knows, maybe, but yeah. Honestly, I hate to say, I just don't have that much to say about it. It's just boring. Like, if you love history and you're very familiar about this part of history, then I think you'll have a good time. For me, someone who's not that familiar with this part of history, though I enjoy historical films, this one just didn't do it for me.
I see. Would you say this is your lowest Ridley Scott film?
Mm, I wouldn't go that far because, I mean, at least the action scenes were pretty good, and Walking Phoenix does give a pretty decent performance. But let me see what else he's done.
Oh,
Oh
maybe
God,
Exodus Gods and
I
Kings.
was
I hear
about to
that
say
tanked.
he did that. Oh my God, that would be my worst. That would be my lowest then. Um, yeah, no. As a whole, I would. This is like the most like bland movie. I think I'd give it like a 5 out of 10, maybe. Like I just don't have that much to say.
Yeah. All right. Pretty average. Pretty meh. Yeah.
Like when I left the theater, I just felt nothing. I was like, that was the most nothing movie I've ever seen.
And it's like what,
At
almost
least
3 hours too.
it's
That's
a
crazy.
slog. It feels like five. It feels like 5 hours, dude.
That is wild. Yeah. All right. Unfortunate. I guess yeah. I will wait for the Apple TV release before I see that one.
Yeah, I'd say I think you would enjoy it because you're a pretty big history guy. I think you would enjoy it.
Oh, I'm totally not. The only time I learn history is when it's in a biopic. But I guess I do gravitate towards those movies because of that. I'll see. Yeah. I'll wait for the Apple release. Alrighty.
Oh,
I guess this would be pretty predictable. Did you ever get around to seeing this?
Nope, and I'm so glad I didn't. Please, the floor is yours. Please tear into it.
Man, this, like, as a film, a film among films, I guess, is maybe not the worst I've ever seen, but of a superhero film, I think this might be without a doubt like the worst superhero film I've ever seen.
Really?
If
You're
not,
going that far?
maybe like Fantastic Four reboot might be a little worse. I
Yeah,
can't,
that's rough.
but nothing else really comes to mind that was just shockingly this like average and
Looks
just
like the
bad.
most nothing movie.
Yeah, it like it is literally just a CGI flick. It is cliche superhero movie, extremely predictable, so cheesy. I'm like, how have we? This is what I would expect of a superhero movie, like when the genre is first breaking out and people don't know how to make them yet. But like, we've come so far, and we're gonna make such a cliche movie. Like stuff like plot is forced, plot is contrived.
Now, did you like the first one?
I really did enjoy the first one. Like there's actual like real development there, and some actual things that is compelling. Dude, like when his mom didn't want him in that first one. Ooh,
Yeah.
the first one knew how to play the heartstrings pretty well.
Yeah, I think like the best review I saw for this one is that someone said, you know, in the first movie, it's Shazam. He's like an adult in a kid's body, so he like or a kid in an adult's body, so he has like a kid. In this one, it's a teenager in an adult's body, and yet he still acts like a little kid.
Yeah, and they all do, because it's the whole bunch of the kids that all have the Shazam powers.
Yeah, but now they're older. They shouldn't really be acting like kids, though.
Exactly. They are. I mean, I don't know how much older they are. The oldest person is just like in college, just started college, but like this like rings of like a corporate movie. Like there's like so much Skittles product placement. Like they make so much so that it's an actual plot point where somebody feeds like a unicorn
no.
Skittles, and it causes them to do a rampage, and then she's writing on it as like, taste the rainbow. Like this is horrible.
No.
Comically bad writing,
Oh man,
which is
I'm
shocking.
so glad I did not see this. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, and it has like heavy hitters like Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu in it.
Mhm.
I'm just like, gosh, this is like what they are wasted on it. Everybody is wasted on it. No, do not recommend. Literally, it was just made for people who just like see CGI and are like, entranced with it. That's the only people that I can think of who would like this movie.
Oh man,
Brutal. Yep. That is number 5.
So that's pretty much your nothing movie. It's like he's got nothing to say about it. It's just absolutely just nothing.
Yeah, it feels like a parody of a superhero movie almost. It's like, yeah.
All right, my number 5 is a movie I'm pretty sure no one even remembers it came out this year, even though the memes were super heavy for it for the marketing material. That is Cocaine Bear.
Oh yeah, I had been meaning to see that. At least for the memes.
This just... I don't think that's the right one. I think that's just a documentary.
Oh, documentary. The audiences loved the documentary probably more than the...
No, people... I think it's like a 90-something on Rotten Tomatoes for the... Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this movie just came and went, dude. This was the first big disappointment for me.
Does this thumbnail encapsulate the movie?
It's not
cringe CGI bear.
Yeah, I'll say that one shot right there is more entertainment than entire hour-and-a-half movie this is. Yeah, this movie sucks, dude. This movie blows. No pun intended. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with this. I mean, the marketing material for it was, oh, funny, haha, bear film. This, go see it. And it was just the most boring shit, dude. I mean, that's the worst thing a comedy can be, is boring. This was boring. Like, not one joke landed for me, dude. Oh my god. The effects suck. Again, this movie came out in February this year, so I don't really remember too much about it, but man, it was just so disappointing. So disappointing. I was expecting to be like, oh, this is gonna be just a parody film, haha, funny. It's gonna be a great fun time. Nope. Like, I didn't think my theater was packed when we saw this. Not one person laughed. It was a quiet, theatrical reaction the entire time.
Nancy Reagan would have put this in her Letterboxd top 4, bro.
That joke is better than any joke in the movie.
Yeah, I told my mom, I'm like, this is Ray Liotta's final film. And she's like, that's very unfortunate.
It really is unfortunate, dude. Ray Liotta, he at least tries. He's trying to work with the material that he has.
Yeah, what can you do?
Yeah. Man, I really don't know have anything to say about this. This one just sucked. It was writing in all the memes, and man, it just came and went like a wet fart, dude.
Yeah, no one really talked about it after its release date.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you would have thought it would be ripe for the taking for internet memes and clips of it online.
Yeah,
reactions.
there were no memes.
No memes at all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Half-baked, uneven. Yep. Unfortunate, yeah. I mean, I guess the only positive would be that it's short enough that you don't feel like you've wasted too much of your life having seen it. But yeah. Very tragic. Was that your 5?
Yes.
Okay, my 4.
I've seen this poster, but I have no idea what it's about.
Yeah, it is. It's a Hulu original. Not many people saw it. It's another rom-com, and I saw it because Shailene Woodley was in it. But yeah, it is basically like a episode of Black Mirror, but done kind of poorly. It's a future society where robots exist, but they're only allowed to do menial tasks. They're not allowed to take the place of you. You're not allowed to send your robot in as your doppelganger. That's illegal, punishable by law. But these people do it anyway. The man does it, sends the robot to do just his desk job, and then Shailene Woodley sends her robot to have sex with people she doesn't want to have sex with, to get to curry favor with them, and and all that stuff. Like to get out of her rent payments, she'll send the robot have sex with the landlord, thinking it's her. And then eventually they... Oh, and he also uses the robot for dating. He uses the robot to go on like the first 3 dates and get all the talking stuff out of the way. And then after they're ready to have sex, then it's the real him. And then they have sex and then he dumps him.
These seem like great main characters. These seem like great people.
No, yeah, I think they're intentionally not great people. And so eventually their robots end up crossing paths. And then their robots end up having sex with each other, and they get feelings, and they go off their programming, and they want to run away to Mexico because Mexico is the area where robots can live. Robots that are based after real people can live in peace. They actually have rights there, so they want to flee to Mexico, and these two want to stop it from happening because if they're caught, then they are the ones who get thrown in jail. So, and it is somehow a rom-com in all of this. Like, I thought the premise was interesting enough of the robots and the whole Black Mirror thing, but like it never goes above a surface level, really. Yeah, it's really goofy humor. Like, it's not taken as serious as you would have thought it would be taken based on the premise and the stakes that are involved.
Yeah.
And then I guess I said politics were injected. I forget. Oh, because conservatives.
Mexico is the better place to go to.
It's because conservatives in this universe voted to deport all the robots to Mexico because they were taking the jobs of real people. That's what it was. Right, that's right. The robots were outlawed completely in the United States. So, yeah. And that's brought up multiple times. People are like, I voted to get these guys out of my country. I'm like, well, all right, I guess. Very clear contemporary politics commentary.
Gotcha.
But, yeah, they end up... they start off trying to stop the robots from getting to Mexico so they can destroy them. But, yeah, by the end, they're like, fine, you can go to Mexico. And then the two real people end up falling in love. But it's very... not very serious movie. Doesn't offer much for the plot. Not very many laughs really at all. Yeah, it just was not real. I thought it was gonna be like average, but it fell way below what I even thought was possible for a movie with this kind of premise and an actor like Shailene Woodley agreeing to do it. So I'm just like, yeah, really did not enjoy it this year. Even as a rom-com fan who will watch anything with an A-list actor, yeah, I'll say. Oh, I think Caleb has his internet went down, folks. Oh, he's back.
Am I back?
There he is. Yeah, it froze on you looking at your computer screen. I thought you were like just deep in thought reading something about it. Like, oh. But yeah,
no, trust me, it wouldn't.
Did it go down again?
No, my
Okay.
my Discord's acting weird. Like it's just like loading. I'm on like a loading thing, yet I can still talk to you. I probably can't look at your screen, but is my webcam on?
Yeah, your webcam's on.
Okay, that's okay.
Did you need to restart it, Discord or something?
It's fine for now. I'll just let it do its thing. If you can see me, then okay. So, are you still on your robots one?
I wrapped that up. Here, let me unshare and reshare the screen to see if that's what was causing it.
Yes, that's what's causing it. Okay, there we go. Perfect.
All right. Yeah. All right. So yeah, not a fan of this one. That was my number 4.
My number 4. I don't remember if you saw this with us, but the more I'm looking at list, the more of these films are just like nothing burgers. Like I just hate to say it. My number 4 is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Oh yeah, yeah, I did see that with you.
This movie's dog shit, bro. This is easily the worst year for Marvel, and probably the worst year for superhero movies, like ever, or at least in a long time. You gave it a 4?
I know it doesn't like deserve a 4. I give it a little extra because of my enjoyment of it.
Did you just do it because the girl's hot?
Listen, no. Okay, we probably did have a bit. I think Nick and I liked it more than you liked it.
I did not like it.
I just enjoyed that it was. I mean, it didn't make either of my lists or anything, but I think of all the Ant-Men, it has the most depth to it because the whole like science fiction universe that we kind of get to explore in there.
Yeah, I mean that stuff is cool, but it's just the story for me. Like, I don't care about any of the characters. Like, I feel like, as much as I hate to say it, I don't think Ant-Man is a strong enough character to hold his own movie. I mean, Paul Rudd is great. Paul Rudd's got a lot of good charisma, but Ant-Man and Wasp are not interesting characters in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's why. Yeah, I think this is the only instance in which they could be conceived as interesting because there's such a vast. There's like 5 of the main cast. Like you have the Paul Rudd, the Wasp, his daughter, and his parents. So I think between all of them, you can kind of maybe argue that there's something compelling to be had.
And I think the biggest reason why this movie just did not work for me is this movie being the introduction of Kang for this universe. Or at least, I mean, we got him in Loki, but really, Ant-Man and the Wasp is the one you're showing your, well, I mean, I guess used to be main villain, because, Jonathan Majors is no longer playing Kang.
Yeah.
And doing Kang, apparently. But,
yes. Yeah, I probably over-rewarded it because Phase 4, this was the start of Phase 5, I think. And then Phase 4 was everything post-Endgame. And I think with the exception of, like, Spider-Man and a little bit Shang-Chi, I thought I liked this better than most of the projects that were in Phase 4.
I like this more than Love and Thunder.
Oh, yeah.
I hate Love and Thunder.
Yeah,
that movie's horrendous.
We both hated that one a lot.
Yeah. This one, like, I thought the world was interesting. I like how there are a lot of unique characters and, like, species in this planet that they go to, or like this dimension that they go to. But the MODOK, oh my god,
that was terrible. The MODOK was done horribly.
Yeah, this reminds me of, like, this is what I thought like the first Ant-Man movie would be like. I enjoyed the first one a little bit.
It was nice,
but I thought it would be like this level of just.
Yeah, that's probably what they all should have been.
and I think the reason why this one is so high on the list is because Love and Thunder I hated, but this one just made me just be like, all right, I'm just tired of Marvel. I can't keep doing it.
Fair enough. That's what I had during Love and Thunder. Yeah, about last year.
Yeah, Love and Thunder, I left that theater angry, but I think shortly after that, Moon Knight came out on Disney Plus, and I really enjoyed Moon Knight. But I haven't seen any more of the TV shows. I haven't seen Miss Marvel. I haven't seen She-Hulk. I haven't seen what's the new one? Secret Invasion.
Yeah, you could probably skip those.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Yeah, I just, man, dude, Marvel, what are they doing? This movie just makes me mad more than anything else, dude. Like, what are they doing? Don't let them cook anymore. Just take a break. Take a break.
Yeah. I think the only other reason I had for ranking it as high as I did was the final battle, huge, like, CG, like, armies clashing. I'm a huge sucker for that. I loved that final battle. It was giving me Star Wars vibes almost. Like, it was scratching that itch.
I'm glad you liked it. That just gave me a headache. and Kang getting, like, taken away by a bunch of ants.
Yeah, I put that in this review here. Yeah, that was
Where-
one of the most unrealistic
Oh,
parts. Like, that's one of the biggest knocks
yeah.
you can give against this movie, in my opinion.
I would give this movie a lot more respect if they just killed off Ant-Man. That's what it made it seem like they were going to do in the end. Like, oh, he's going to sacrifice himself. Like, I feel like if they, had the balls to do that, then I feel like I would give this one a lot more respect. But this was just a nothing movie to me. It was just nothing. It made me tired. Like, it made me tired.
Fair enough. I don't know. I was probably cruising on a false hope that the Marvel would like use this slight improvement to like keep improving, but they did not keep improving.
This year, they crashed and burned. And to end the year off with them like having to fire the actor for their main villain, and then probably having to go to a new villain. Oh man, I feel so bad for them.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna end up doing. It's who knows what the future holds.
Yeah, like when I saw Love and Thunder, like that made me angry. But I was thinking, oh, but it's more of a Taika Waititi thing. That's why I didn't like this one. But this one made me realize, oh, I've got Marvel fatigue.
Yeah, I
I'm
think a lot of people
tired.
do. If you're not like a huge superhero movie fan or a huge Marvel fan, like Nick is, then I think I can easily see it.
Yep. Though this is not the last superhero movie on my list. In fact, the one after this one was Blue Beetle.
Oh yes,
One more superhero movie on my list.
yeah, not a great one for superhero movies. Was that your 3? That was your 4, right?
That was my 4. Yep.
Whew, okay, this is like a recent one. It's a Christmas one. My number 3 is
look at
Dashing
that.
Through the Snow. It is featuring Ludacris himself.
Shut
Is the
up!
main character.
Right now. I need to see this right now.
It's a Disney Plus exclusive.
Chris.
Who would have guessed? But yeah, he plays sort of a Grinchy character. Doesn't like Christmas, but his daughter loves Christmas, so he kind of tries to. It's a Black Santa featured. Ludacris is a guy who he works for the police station, but as like a counselor. So if somebody's like about to jump off a bridge or something, he talks them down.
Oh.
And so he runs into this Santa character and thinks he's just another crackpot, and he's trying to like get him calm and just take him to a psychiatric facility.
But it's Santa.
Yeah, but it's Santa, so a bunch of like goofy magic stuff is happening. Who even was the villain in this? It was like I don't even remember how unrememberable this was. Yeah, like there was like actually like a decent potential for it, because it's Ludacris's marriage is like Rocky, and he has to like earn his way back in with his wife and to save his family, and the kid is caught in the middle of it. Like it could have been at least something.
Sounds depressing.
But it is well, yeah, I guess. But of course they liven it up, and they don't even really do much with it, other than like the daughter accompanies Ludacris as he tries to escort this Santa, and like there's zero thought given to like how it transitions, because Santa gets away from them multiple times, and the movie cannot think of any way for them to find Santa again, so they just say Santa sweats glitter. You follow the glitter, you find Santa. I'm like, who thought of this ride? So bad.
Sweats glitter.
Yeah, yeah. And then the
Follow
Santa,
the
yeah.
glitter.
That's exactly what it was. The Santa was just like had sassy dialogue, I guess. I'm like, all right, I guess.
So I take it this is not an instant Christmas classic.
It is most certainly not a Christmas classic. Maybe if you have kids, this will kill like an hour and a half. But yeah, I did have a few laughs, but like, gosh, really nothing to offer. Very sad.
Burger.
Yeah. Wasted potential. Very
Alright.
tragic.
My number 3 was Blue Beetle, so you can go for number 2. This is
Oh,
where I
yeah.
ask you, why the hell did you watch 80 for Brady?
Okay.
Why did
80
you
for
watch
Brady.
80 for Brady?
So, I will come right out and say this does deserve to be my number 1. I just put the other film as number 1 because I expected so much more from it. But this is without a doubt, technically speaking, the worst film to come out of this year.
Oh man.
Now I like these sorts of movies. Like I like Jane Fonda and Rita Moreno and these
Oh
kind
yeah,
of movies.
yeah, they're great.
Like they're in stuff like The Book Club. This felt like, I don't know if you've seen that.
No, but like I hear about saying, like a wine mom classic.
It is a Wine Mom classic. I do enjoy the Wine Mom classics. I thought that's what this was gonna be. I actually didn't watch this of my own volition. I was at a friend's house, and they were
They had on 80 for Brady.
so they were drunk. They were mostly drunk and coming down off of it, and so we were just we were trying to find a bad movie to laugh at, and so we picked,
gotcha.
and that is exactly what you do. I didn't even think it was gonna be this bad. It is so remarkably bad. Not even funny. One of them is person recovering from cancer, and these are her best friends who got her through it. So she wins a contest for biggest fan of the, who is it even, the Steelers,
The Denver
the
Broncos.
Patriots. I think it's the Patriots. Yeah, Tom Brady. It's the Patriots. They're Patriots fans. So when she was going through chemo, these 4 friends accidentally flick on the TV and they see these people playing football in tights, and they're like, "Oh, he's so hot. I want to see more of this." And then that's how they get into football.
Chris, you got me here wearing all my Saints football attire. This is kind of killing my soul hearing you talk about this.
Exactly. Yeah. And so they win this contest to that for the biggest Saints fans, and then they win 4 tickets to the Super Bowl. And so they do a lot of apparently there's a lot to do before the Super Bowl if you actually go that I didn't know about. There's nacho eating contests and all that stuff, and you can those mechanized football things that you see in arcades where you throw the football at the right spot and you win points and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Apparently, yeah. Doesn't
Notice you
develop
gave
much.
a good shout out to Las Vegas.
Yes,
Love that movie.
it is like that. It is
I freaking
basically the
love that
same.
movie, dude.
Yeah, it is a lot of the same vibes, except this movie just does everything awful.
That's the one with Morgan Freeman, right? Las
Yeah,
Vegas.
Morgan Freeman,
Yes.
De Niro. What a gem.
Oh man. Yeah, but though I feel your pain on this, Chris, because when this movie was being marketed, every week when I went to the movies, I had to sit through this trailer once.
Oh
I
man.
feel your pain.
Yeah, I am so sorry. There's
Uh,
not much to it, and the ending is infuriatingly unrealistic. Let
me guess. Do they all go out to the field? Oh, we're on the field.
These friends single-handedly saved the Super Bowl because the Patriots are down. The Patriots are down, and then the woman gets up. One of them gets up
No.
and says, "I'm not gonna let this happen to the Patriots or to Tom Brady. I'm gonna do something about it."
Don't tell me she puts on a uniform.
They're already wearing these jerseys. They walk down to the control room where the people can talk to the coaches or talk to the players or something, and somehow convince them to sit aside and let her talk to Tom Brady directly. And it is just like her being like, I know you've got it in you, Tom. You've done this all in the past. I know you're probably thinking all this other stuff is on your mind, but if you can focus up and all this, it's like generic motivational speech. And then that single-handedly turns the tide, and the Patriots come back from like 23 to winning the Super Bowl in like the last half of the game.
I haven't even seen this, and I want to put it up my number one.
It is so horrible.
Oh, let me guess. Tom Brady not a good actor?
Not exactly. I mean, he's just got his one thing. They do get to meet Tom Brady. And then he's like so unrealistic. He's like, "You want to do a jersey swap with the woman?" I'm like, "All right, I guess. Fine. We'll give this to them if they're so dedicated." It is very tragic. Oh, and she actually lied to her friends the whole time. She didn't win the competition, but said she did, and photocopied the tickets. So they're turned away at the door. I'm like, I would be so mad if my friend brought me there and have us turned away at the door because she just photocopied the tickets. I'm like, oh my gosh. But they pretend to be dancers as part of the halftime act. And they have to put on a little dance concert for the security guard to convince him that they're real dancers.
No.
It's so bad. It is so bad.
Chris, you're killing me here.
It was, wow, yeah. I have not seen a movie that bad in a long, long time. Dude, boycott this movie, bro.
So, not a Wine Mom classic.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, who knows? Maybe with enough wine and the mom vibe, maybe. But that's literally the only audience I can fathom for this movie. It is a real stinker. Probably deserves my number one spot.
All right, so my number two is a movie I'm surprised it's not on your list. That is The Flash.
Oh, The Flash.
Ugh. See, would you give this?
I think I liked this more than you or Nick did.
I'm pretty sure this is the movie that broke Nicholas. I'm pretty sure this is the worst film Nicholas has ever seen. This is the most annoying film I saw this year. Ezra Miller, they are not a good actor. They are annoying. What they do with the Flash character is annoying. They're a terrible human being in person. The only good thing coming from this is seeing Michael Keaton again, as Batman. That's cool. But the problem is, it's in this movie. The effects suck. The writing sucks. The comedy sucks. This is the ugliest looking movie this year, dude. The effects were terrible.
I mean,
oh, they were so bad.
That beginning scene, the
babies.
burrito scene.
Oh my god, dude. It's like a horror film for how bad it looked, which makes sense because the director of this directed It Chapter 1 and 2.
Wow. I mean, towards the end they were fine. I didn't think they were like, nothing's jumped out at me like at the climax scene that was like, wow, this is bad.
What about when they're in the desert with a terrible green screen and everything? Like, that didn't stick out to you?
The desert. I guess I didn't notice. Maybe, I don't know. As far as like the Kryptonian army went, it didn't stick out to me anyway.
Yeah, like, look, I hate Man of Steel, but this movie made me feel bad for Man of Steel because of how it connects to it.
That is true.
Oh, man.
It's the closest we get to Man of Steel 2.
This is like just the shit stain that the DC universe has left. Even though we got Aquaman coming out and those reviews come out tomorrow for critics, man, this is just like, people are going to remember the DC universe. They're going to think about this and think, oh man, how the mighty have fallen, even though they weren't even that high to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, I rated this. Yeah, I rated this like a 3 out of 5, slightly above average, purely on entertainment. Like, while the story was Not great. Very clearly not great.
No.
I couldn't have helped but be like, I was very massively entertained by like the Michael Keaton scenes, and I think the climax scene where they're fighting the Kryptonians. I that scratched my like action fighting itch really well.
No, I'm sorry. That just pissed me off. I thought the action was terrible. I thought the weird introduction of Supergirl was just weirdly done. Like the writing was just so terrible here.
Yeah, I didn't like how the I think the writing is the worst at the way it like ends in a way I don't even know how to describe it. It's
With
like
what was it?
it ends up being the main villain.
George Clooney.
Well, yeah, George Clooney was in there. He was in there. But yeah, it ends up being like the villain was himself the whole time or something.
I completely forgot about that. How we have the most disgusting 3 minutes of any movie this year with the random cameos.
Yeah, there was basically no real villain because the villain of the movie got like 3 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, and like end. There was like that weird cameo part with like all the Supermans like just de-aging and putting in like dead actors in the movie.
Yeah, that's where the CGI also tanked. I can see where you saw that.
And weirdly placed Nicolas Cage as well.
I mean, it makes sense that he was there.
I get it. I get it.
The effects on it was awful.
I understand the fan service for it. Man, it was just terrible. Yeah. I didn't even go in with high hopes, bro. Like, I didn't even go in with high hopes. Again, this movie just made me tired. I'm just so tired.
There we go. We need a list of the top 10 tiring movies.
Yeah, like, I don't want to see any of. There's only like 2 superhero movies I'm excited for, and that's the new Batman whenever that comes out, and Joker 2. That's the only comic book movies I'm excited for.
Yeah, I can't think of any. It's the rest. It's pretty much superheroes movies in this day and age. Just play it by ear. You either impressed me or not.
Like, you can just feel how tired my voice is right now. I'm just done.
Indeed.
And now we gotta talk about your number 1.
Okay.
It's not that bad. It is not this bad.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty fucking bad.
What? No.
Okay.
This is like at least a 4.
The plot, it was so incredibly, and I saw this in like February, so I have to really reach back and see what I didn't enjoy. This came out a while ago. Yeah, I thought I didn't think the plot was just anything special. It felt very generic.
I thought it was very charming.
Let's see. What did I think?
Did you ever see Game Night by chance?
Game Night.
This is directed by the guys who made Game Night, and that movie's pretty.
I don't think I saw it. That's the one with Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw it. It looks good though.
That's one of the better comedies in the past few years.
Okay, I'll have to check that one out. Yeah, that one's definitely on my list. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Michelle Rodriguez. It's horrible work. She's completely like, you could tell it does not fit like what her acting chops are supposed to, what her abilities lend herself to. I think they should have got someone else to play that. And then they go into a whole scene where she like pours her heart out to her ex-lover. And then I don't think she really changes much from that at all. I don't think we gleaned anything from that.
Again, this has been so long since I've seen this one.
Yeah, because Bradley Cooper was her ex-lover, I believe.
I forgot he was in this movie.
That's right. Wasn't the plot like he's trying to just get his kid back? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm like, okay. He makes it to the castle. And there wasn't anything like, the only like cool effects, like the cool like fantasy aspect, I think it didn't really get like like good fantasy wise. It didn't scratch my fantasy itch until the very end when they started doing all the cool stuff in the arena. I thought that was cool, like the blobs, but it came way too late for me. Other than that, you just had the skeletons that they talked to.
Yeah,
I think, like,
I enjoyed it. The thing is, I don't even like Dungeons and Dragons. I enjoyed this though.
oh my
I
gosh,
thought it was a
yeah.
lot of fun. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna talk about the. It was. I remember the ending that I specifically made me absolutely livid. Where it was like, what is like the hostage situation or something, and then the villain has every chance in the world to like end it all and win.
Yeah, no, the villain was pretty good.
Yeah, that's why I think I didn't like it so much.
Pretty meh. I don't think this deserves to be number one.
It probably doesn't deserve to be number one, but I was really expecting more. 80 for Brady is definitely a worse film. I will say that. It's getting my personal number one because I expected way more out of it.
Fair enough. I'll give you that one. All right. Now to my.
What do we have? I think we just have my favorites and we have your anticipated.
Well, I gotta do a number one worst.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. What is your number one worst?
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Oh, that's right. Yes, we said we were going to come back to it.
This, you know how I've been saying on this list, you know, oh, this movie made me tired. This movie just pissed me the fuck off.
Brought you
This
out of
movie-
tired into pissed.
This movie pissed me off. And I'll give you a few reasons. One, they do nothing with Indiana Jones's character. He gets there's like no motivation there. He's just a tired old man throughout the entire time. And the one time when he does have, some sort of like, energy and, like actually passion is when, they're back in time and he's like, oh, I want to stay here. I'm witnessing history. I'm like, that's actually kind of a unique idea, because he's witnessing something that he's been in love with, his whole life, history. And then you have this random girl that we don't even know anything about, just, punch him in the face and bring him back going, sorry, you don't get a choice. And even the girl goes, you belong here. And Indiana Jones goes, for who? I have no one.
That's true.
Yeah, and his old lover comes in at the very end, which was weirdly tacked on, but this was just a shit stain on the Indiana Jones character. Like, I said this in my review I put on YouTube, like, Indiana Jones is kind of like my baby when it comes to movies. Like, I remember owning books that were just, like, retellings of the movies. I remember how my aunt, she took me to see Kingdom of the Crystal Skull opening night in theaters. I owned all the Lego sets for Indiana Jones. Like, Indiana Jones was just my thing. Like, I loved it. And this was just nothing. Like, I enjoy Kingdom of the Crystal Skull more than this. This was just a shitty movie, dude. Like, it just pissed me off. It just made me angry.
Yeah, even if it is not so good if not even the fan can find hardly anything good to say about it.
Like for real, like, again, that first 20 minutes, I'm like, oh, that, that's entertaining. I kind of feel like, I'm watching an old Indiana Jones movie, but if I wanted to watch an old Indiana Jones movie, I would watch the original one.
Exactly.
Story here is nothing. It's nothing. You have Discount Shore around. You have the female actress that we know nothing about. You have this guy, like, I think his name was Basil or something, who, like, goes mad because of the dial, like, he goes crazy or something because he's like, oh, it can, like, detect fissures in time or whatever. But we know nothing about Basil throughout the other movies, yet in this one, it's like, oh, Basil and Indy have been best friends for years. It's like, no, stop messing with the lore. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was like, who? I'm like, bring in if you're gonna, play the, member berries, like, references and nostalgia, bring in old characters. Instead they kill off Shia LaBeouf and be like, no, he died in the war. Like,
Yeah, that was so
okay,
unfortunate.
there goes that character.
I know, wasted potential.
Wasted potential. Like this, and I was so excited because I'm like, oh, okay, so this one's gonna be about an old grumpy Indiana Jones, and the director made Logan, which was about an old grumpy Wolverine. This is gonna be a match made in heaven with this director, and I can guarantee you, Disney got their grubby little paws all over it and was just like, no, you're gonna make it this way, you're gonna make it this way. This is our movie, this is our property now. Give me it, it's mine. And Disney just shat all over this great series. Fuck this movie.
Absolutely, yeah. I think even the antagonist, now that I think about it, would just miraculously show up wherever the plot
Yes.
needed them to be.
He would just randomly appear.
Okay, yeah, great, yeah, like
he
a
would just
Saturday
and
cartoon
also,
style.
Oh, I forgot. So the main villain, his main goal is like, oh, I want to go back in time, to the time of World War II, so I can kill Hitler, so I can become the next Hitler, because I can do it better than, I can, take over the world better than, Hitler did. I'm like, what the fuck is this plan?
Yeah,
This is stupid.
like he's gonna be shot. Like the second he kills Hitler, like he was just gonna be shot by
Yeah.
everyone else there.
I'm like, dude, every Nazi is gonna come running after you.
Yeah, like this is not tribal warfare where the strongest, whoever's the strongest, gets to lead. It's
Oh my goodness, this person, this top reviewer right here, he says that this is the Rise of Skywalker of Indiana Jones films. I
Yeah.
fully agree. I fully agree.
exactly the best part is this reviewer. I follow him on Letterboxd because he does funny like movie reviews. This is the one film.
Shea Phillips Productions. I know this guy.
Yeah, he usually does really funny reviews. This is like the one thing
Yeah.
I've seen. He does a legit tear into this movie. Not funny at all. 100% serious. What
Oh
is
my-
this movie kind of review?
Yeah, I think look at my channel real quick. I think this is the longest review on my channel. I think this is like the last review I made actually. I haven't made a channel review in a while. Let's see. Longest review, clocking in at around 28 minutes.
Yeah, there's a lot to say there for sure. Go watch
This,
Caleb's review for a more in-depth breakdown.
Yes, watch my review, but I think I was just in denial when I was first like, it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. I had a fun time, not bad. Man, that 10-minute car ride home was the longest 10 minutes of my life. It was just pure.
Yeah, I saw your post about it on Instagram stories.
Yeah,
You're like,
exactly.
not as bad as everyone's saying. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
very surprising to hear.
That was just me in denial, dude. I was going through the stages of grief at that point.
Fair enough. Indeed. Yeah, lots to be said about that.
But yeah, that's my worst of the year. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Alrighty. Then I guess we just have my favorites of this year and then your anticipated. A few of these favorites I covered in like the best.
Why the fuck is Fast X #1?
Listen. I'm under no delusion that this list is comprised of movies that are the greatest films, even
I'll
good
let you
films.
have it. I'll let you have it.
We went over actually a lot of these in the best.
He did, yeah.
But Extraction, plot, pretty not good. Really not good plot. But the action, I would say, rivals John Wick.
Is this the movie that has like that 10-minute long, one take car chase or something?
It's a one take like hand to hand scene.
Oh,
like the camera follows him around like a prison riot. But it is insanely cool. Like the story for the first one I thought was fine enough considering it wanted to be an action movie. Did you see the first one? Nope. I would say it's Netflix's probably greatest action movie. Wasn't amazing plot wise, but like it was, I think it was good and good enough for like an action movie that's focused on the action, much like, you know, John Wick is. This, I would say, the plot really like you can tell it's like they just want the cash grab because Extraction 1 was so popular. So they kind of have to invent the story a little bit. Doesn't quite stand up on its own two legs very well, but as far as the action goes, doesn't skip a beat.
Weird, because Extraction 2 has better reviews than the first one.
That is very interesting. Yeah, I mean, the action's probably as good, maybe if not a little better. Yeah, it is. Yeah, very, very basic plot. But like it's shot extremely well. Yeah, there's a pretty long single shot take of a bunch where Hemsworth's just beating up dude after dude and dodging stuff, and it is just super cool, and it scratches my action itch very well.
Very nice.
Yes, very well. They just couldn't think of a plot. Yeah, they got the classic dumb kids does a dumb thing, and that's a major plot point. So I was like, yeah, I guess I would expect this of an action movie, but yeah, that's why it definitely wouldn't have made my best list for a reason like that. Yeah, pretty tropey. So we talked about these. Yeah, Mission Impossible. I thought it was. I don't know why it didn't occur to me to put in the best list, but maybe I would say just that scene where
this would be your number 11.
Yeah, well, I guess I did have like 14. Like 14. But, But yeah, I thought it is pretty solid story wise. Yeah, not the most solid of the entire series, but I mean, yeah, it was just, I think it just brought me so much joy to see a movie of this caliber be pretty good, I would say. Everybody had great performance. I just didn't like that one scene where he miraculously parachutes into the train and happens to hit somebody who's about to kill what's-her-face.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was cool.
It seemed pretty like, of course, because he didn't plan it, was the thing.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he just happens to hit the one spot he needed to. I was like, all right. The movie was taking itself doing pretty well with or as well as you can get for a Mission Impossible movie, with the realism. I was like, that one scene just rubbed me the wrong way. But yeah, other than that, I don't have much criticism for it. It was pretty solid. Yeah. That was definitely one of my favorites this year. Did you ever get around to seeing Transformers?
No, but I wanted to. It's on my watch list.
It's definitely one of the better ones. Way better than any of the Mark Wahlberg ones, hands down.
Oh man, that's not hard to beat.
Yeah, probably not too hard. But yeah, just so awesome. Rivals probably the Shia LaBeouf ones. At least I personally think the LaBeouf ones are pretty solid.
I like 1 and 3. 1 and 3 are pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. They're the Hallmark movie for men, as I've heard them being described.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I think this is just an extension
Try to keep
of
this one spoiler free, because I do want to do this.
Okay. Yeah. No. For sure. I would just say I think it does well. I think it does just as well action-wise as the LaBeouf ones. It just doesn't handle the human characters quite as well as the LaBeouf movies. But, I mean, I wouldn't say the human characters are handled horribly by any stretch of the means. Just not quite as good. But, I mean, overall, very entertaining watch.
Very nice.
Yeah, Nicholas and I saw this together, yeah. We were pretty impressed.
No, I was going to go see with y'all, but y'all forgot to tell me.
Yeah, I was so embarrassed. I could have sworn, because I think we had planned to see The Flash, and I just must have mentally thought that I told you about Transformers. So we got there, and then we're like,
it's fine. I did joke with you though. I'm like, this is my canon event.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, we got there, and we're like, where are you, Caleb? And you're like, where am I? What? Where am I supposed to be?
I was like, where?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely
Oh,
worth a watch for if you're a Transformers fan.
uh, okay, now we gotta talk. What is number one?
Listen, Fast. This is just a personal like. I love all the Fast series.
I have never seen any of them, so I have no right to talk.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I guess it's the kind of thing you either love it or you don't. The first one, I would say at least watch like the first one. That's probably one of the ones widely regarded as one of the better stories.
Now, this series is the Hallmark movies for men.
Indeed, at least turned into that. Because just to see the contrast between, because the very first movie is they keep it to street racing, and it's just street racing, and the modern movies are.
Don't we go to space in the ninth one?
They do, yeah. And by the ninth one, they've gone to space. By the ninth movie, they've switched from car movies to action movies. So that's kind of where some people have their gripes with it. Their people fall off with it a bit. I think like the third and fourth one, I think do probably the best job of balancing the action with some good story. And then after that, it's wheels off, action above literally anything.
Yeah, I'm looking at like promotional clips here or like pictures here, and I have thoughts.
I mean, yeah. So story-wise, Fast 9 is a huge stinker. Even as someone like a diehard fan, like Fast 9, like the story, like Fast 8 and 9, the story really drops off after Fast 7.
Is Fast 9 the one with John Cena?
Yes, it is. He's not a great actor. He's okay in that, I guess. But yeah, that's where, like after Fast 5, you can tell they favor action over story. But then after Fast 7 is when the story really takes a huge hit in favor of action.
And 7 was the one with Paul Walker, right?
Yeah,
or
it was
like
his last one. His last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this one, I give it so much praise because it returns to close to the Fast 7 era of they still prioritize action, but there's some story that is a little bit compelling, at least a little bit. So compared to, I really didn't like the last past two, 9 and 8. 8 is decent, I guess, on an entertainment scale, but 9, I don't know what they're thinking in the writing room. 9 was awful.
Was Fast X a two-parter? Is this gonna be like or like, is this supposed to be the last one, but no, the next one's supposed to be the last one?
Yeah, this is supposed to be a two-parter.
So does this one end on a cliffhanger?
Yeah, kind of cliffhanger-ish. Like, it's like mid-action scene. There's not much to hang.
I'm not going to a Fast movie for a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I mean, I think this one switched up. At least did us the courtesy of switching up the story from what it normally does. Like, it splits the team off in two a bit, and we kind of get to see them encounter stuff they haven't before. So I'm like, all right, it's change of pace, good action and a change of pace. I really enjoyed it as a result. I saw it in the. Have you been to those Cinemark Screen X movies?
No, what are those?
So they project it's a regular screen, but then they project even more of it onto the sides of the walls. So it's like a wider.
Oh, those. Okay, I've seen those, but I hear they're not that good because it's kind of weird the way they're shaped with the screen. Like, yeah, it can like mess with the visual sometimes.
Yeah, it's weird because the theater is still square, is the only thing.
Oh.
But like, there's never like anything that's like important happening on the sides, on the walls. It's just like for the immersion. It's just extra stuff. Like I went back and watched it like on like just like my phone, and it's only extra stuff. They don't like widen the regular movie to make room for this thing. It's only stuff you wouldn't see otherwise. But yeah, it's cool. You don't necessarily need to see anything in that format, but I mean, it's cool if you get the chance. A little bit more immersive. Yeah.
So Fast X.
Fast X. Indeed. Oh, it was, yeah. This is, one of my hallmarks. Hallmark style movies. Yeah, that was they brought me the most joy this year, I will say.
All right. So it's getting pretty late in the night, so I'm going to quickly go by mine.
Alrighty, fair enough.
Okay, so the bottom two are actually ones that are coming out in December, but like in the last 2 weeks of December. I'm seeing the bottom one actually tomorrow, and that is the Emma Stone film Poor Things.
Oh, I've seen ads for it.
Yep, looks pretty good. The next one on the list is Iron Claw. That's coming out in a couple weeks. That one's got Zac Efron in it.
Iron Claw.
It's about a bunch of wrestlers.
Sports. Oh, okay. Sports movie.
Yeah, and it's made by A24. So
should be good.
Okay. The one next is I was not expecting to have a Disney movie on the list, but I love the first one, and that's gonna be Inside Out 2. So.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be great. I hope anyway.
I know. with Disney nowadays, you could never know. Okay, next one is gonna be Beetlejuice 2.
Yes, my favorite Halloween movie. I cannot wait.
Yep, that one I hope is good. The next one is Deadpool 3.
Yes, gonna be so good.
Again, it's Disney and new Marvel we're talking about now.
That's true, but it's Sony Marvel though, since it's like X-Men.
True. This next one, I know you and I are gonna be their midnight premiere. That is Godzilla X Kong.
Yes. So hyped for Barbie Godzilla.
Yep, you and I are gonna be there opening night.
Absolutely, you gotta watch Monarch too. I'm guessing.
Oh, I do need to watch it. The next one is a movie called Mickey 17. This one is made by the guy who directed Parasite. And it's gonna star Robert Pattinson in it. Yep, we've only gotten
got Pattinson and Ruffalo.
Yep. We've only gotten like a promotional teaser for the movie. We haven't gotten like a full trailer yet.
Yeah.
But I love Parasite, so I'm hoping that this one turns out good. The next one might not even come out. We don't know yet. So have you heard about this thing about Acme v. Coyote?
I don't think so.
Okay, so this was a movie that Warner Brothers was going to release called Coyote vs. Acme. It was going to be directed by James Gunn, I believe. Yeah, written by James Gunn. And gonna have John Cena, and it's gonna be pretty much like, I don't know if you've seen like Looney Tunes Back in Action before, but it was pretty much gonna be like that, the Looney Tunes characters.
Yeah, I'm familiar with this.
It got phenomenal test screenings from critics, like saying, "Oh my god, this is gonna be great," but Warner Brothers shelved it for a tax write-off.
No,
they shelved it for no, but that's the thing though. The internet went ballistic at Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers were like, you know what, fine, we're gonna sell it to another company and we'll let that company stream it or send it to theaters or whatever. So it might come out, it might not. It depends on someone can make a deal with Warner Brothers. The next one is Joker 2.
That's gonna be great.
The next one is gonna be Nosferatu. This is it's gonna be probably an A24 film that is directed by the guy that made The Lighthouse and The Northman, Robert Eggers, great director. Love his films, and this is gonna have Willem Dafoe and pretty much be a retelling of the famous vampire story Nosferatu.
Did you see the original?
Nope. So I might need to see that before that comes out.
Yeah.
The next one's gonna be Furiosa.
Oh
sequel to
yes,
Mad Max Fury
so
Road.
good.
Okay, number
I'm
eight.
excited.
And number one, I'm sure you can guess because I've been excited for this movie a while now. It's supposed to come out this year, but it got delayed.
Of course,
That
of
is
course.
Dune
Yep.
Chapter 2. Yes. Please. Oh,
Yes.
I need that in my veins right now. There's not a day that goes by where I don't think about Dune for.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. I desperately need the payoff for an all exposition movie.
It's true.
I'm gonna be there for
And,
it so hard.
and if it is as good as it is in the books, it'll be a great payoff.
Should be solid. Yeah, we will definitely have to catch that.
Yes, that is get it on your list.
Yep.
Kind of like zoomed by that, but we've been talking about movies for like 4 hours now.
We have. Yeah, it did end up taking a little bit longer. Yeah,
Hey
nearly
man,
4 hours.
I just had a fun time talking about movies, dude.
It was a good time. Yeah, there's not many people that I can talk to and extensively about movies. Than
Yeah.
other than yourself, man. Like nobody watches the amount of movies that we do.
I was looking at my AMC's A list thing, like 'cause it keeps tally of how many movies you saw. I saw 40 movies this year. I saw 40 films, and it was phenomenal. It was a great
There we
year
go. In the theater, so probably much
in the
more.
theater.
I
Probably
don't-
much more, but
yeah.
like in the theater, yeah, I saw 40 films because I can save money with the AMC stubs. A list.
He's got to get the plug in. Yeah.
I do got to get that plug in. I might as well go ahead and just bite the bullet and do a letterbox.
Yeah, okay. I was curious what I saw your tweet about it and how
Okay,
I don't
here's
understand
my
how
thing.
it is discouraging. I'm very curious.
Okay, because I don't know. This gonna probably sound pretentious, but with Letterbox now, it doesn't seem like there's like that passion to make content for reviewing movies. At least taking the time and effort to record, edit, get everything set up, write scripts for movie reviews and things like that. Like that drive and passion to do that is kind of dwindling now that you can just go on like this website and just like spend 5 minutes to write a review instead of spending the whole day and making a video. If that makes any sense.
So you think you would if you got a letterbox, you would just be wanting to do like letterbox reviews only?
I guess, yeah. I mean, that's kind of like the way to put it. Like, I would rather just, I don't know, I'd rather just, take the time and effort, make videos, but making videos takes a lot of effort and a lot of time out of my day whenever I do make them. But, the fuck?
Yeah, I'm trying to find. I do follow like a YouTuber who posts on Letterboxd and does an even more in-depth video
The
on
thing is,
YouTube.
if I do letterbox, maybe I can get some clout and maybe get a bigger following on YouTube. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I haven't made any reviews for the rest of the year because I just got so freaking busy.
Yeah, I mean, I think Letterboxd for someone like yourself could be a bit more supplemental, like because you probably wouldn't want to make a full review on every single movie you see.
True, yeah.
That's why, like, I just use it as like a video diary. Just jot down my initial thoughts and I'll leave it at that. But I think there's plenty of room for you to make an expanded, because not very many people will make like a huge essay review on Letterboxd. I think that's where the
Leo.
video essay, like on Leo. It was a cute Netflix movie with Adam Sandler. Recommend it. Yeah. Saw a lot of streaming movies this year. Yeah, we got to get you seeing more streaming movies, Caleb. There's
You
some
do,
hidden gems.
yes.
Hidden gems for sure.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Indeed.
But
These are pretty much all that I saw this year.
nice. Yeah, I'm thinking now I'll probably go ahead and do an account like at the beginning of the year. That way I can just track all the movies I saw that year.
Yes, there we go. Yeah, I'm constantly trying to get my friends to get on Letterboxd, so I have more. I can follow more than like 3 or 4 people. Yeah, Yeah, Caleb's been the one I've been probably badgering the most about. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really curious. I want to hear like
Yeah.
his thoughts on more than just like
Because-
the 3 or 4 reviews that he does an in-depth dive on a year.
The thing, like, everyone knows in the group, like, I'm the movie guy.
Indeed, yeah. Yeah, go check out his channel. He goes way more in depth than than I have the drive to do.
The fancy filmmaker, yes.
Indeed, the fancy filmmaker on YouTube, folks. Alrighty. I guess you probably want to get to bed now, don't you?
I'm exhausted.
Easy. Yeah, we've been going quite a long time. The only comment we got, let's see, Jake just said a while back, the holdovers best of 2023 end stream.
I mean, I hope there's a sweep. I hope there's a sweep.
Indeed, I absolutely can't wait to see it. I've heard nothing but good things. Yeah, that will be fantastic. Thank you. Maybe we'll do something a bit more like this next year. Yeah, it'll be a good time. Thank you for joining us and listening to our rants and raves. Did you ever see Elemental, Caleb? Before we go,
Nope.
That Disney
Never
movie
saw it.
was better than I was expecting. Yeah, 'cause I expect Inside Out to be pretty good. Elemental looked actually kind of weak, but it ended up surprising me a bit.
The trailers look terrible.
It looked, yeah, very generic, but it ended up surprising me. It's on Disney Plus now, so it's a bit of better ease of access. Not too bad. Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, thanks for.
Chris, would you like to plug in your little letterbox account?
Oh
Follow
yeah,
you?
yes, I am the Chris Cordova on Letterboxd, guys. Go follow me, like my reviews. Yeah, I review like pretty much every movie I watch. I use it as a film diary. I've seeing so many movies because the only people who have seen as many movies as like Caleb or I have would be like people my parents' age who have lived twice as long. So I'm like, once we get to their age, we're gonna see an unprecedented amount. So like, I'm gonna forget stuff. So I'm like, I need to just jot down. I need to have it written what I think of each movie I see. Indeed, yeah, that's pretty much why I started at pretty much the beginning of this year with my Letterboxd and been reviewing every movie I've seen. So yes, hopefully. So if I ever need to remember what I thought, I can just look back. Yes, I encourage you all to have a Letterboxd as well. Yeah, thank you for joining us. Film bros here have a little film cast.
It's a great stream. Great idea, Chris, on this one. That was a good idea.
Yeah, I had a great time. Hopefully we'll do this. We will definitely do this again next year, I would say.
Yeah,
for sure.
totally.
Great time.
A new yearly tradition.
Indeed. Yes. Catch us next year, folks.
Bye.
Have a good night.